Angeles Rams on the Chicago Bears. This ABC Sports exclusive is being brought to you by Datsun, where you'll find value, economy, and quality, and by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Hello again, everyone. I'm Frank Gifford, along with Howard Cosell and Don Meredith, looking for a very interesting matchup tonight. The 1-2 Rams against the 1-2 Chicago Bears. The Rams are doing something about their perennial quarterback problem. They have signed Dan Pastorini, cut earlier by the Oakland Raiders. He shopped his wares around the NFL, has signed with the Los Angeles Rams. We do not anticipate his being in action tonight. He's only worked out one day. But the man really on the spot tonight, as he has been over much of his career, Howard, and a successful career, I might add, is Pat Hayden.
He was always a winner at the college level. He's been criticized trying to throw too long when he doesn't have the arm power to do it. He's had a hard time. His reaction to fan hostility has been plaguing him. Vince Evans from the University of Southern California, a brilliant all-around athlete, all-purpose quarterback we called him, and he is exactly that.
Interesting, too, that Vince Evans in 1974 at the University of Southern California was the backup quarterback there to Pat Hayden. All right, the Bears have won the toss. Frank Corral will get things underway for the Los Angeles Rams. A dangerous return man drops deep for the Bears. Dave Williams, remember a year ago, shortest overtime game in history. The Bears beating Detroit when this man went 98 yards for a touchdown on the kickoff starting the overtime. We are set to go. Both teams 1-2 on the young season, and they are struggling. This will be Williams from the 4-yard line. Williams almost spins away from the Ram tackler, but he's taken down at the 23-yard line by Howard Carson. And again, as we said, an interesting matchup. Vince Evans can do a lot of things from his quarterback spot. The question is, well, the Bears go, as does Walter Payton. And there's been comments that perhaps Walter is not getting the blocking that has led him to 4 consecutive NFC rushing division championships, Howard.
We'll find out about that in the course of time. The interesting thing, each team believes it's better than its current record would suggest. And with reason. They have the personnel.
Walter Payton, 34. Matsui, 26. Walter Payton, left side. Payton to the 25-yard line for a gain of a couple. It'll be 2nd down and 8. And the key matchup perhaps will be against Jack Youngblood, a defensive left hand, because Dennis Lick, an outstanding tackle for many years for the Bears, is not in action tonight. He damaged his knee. Dan Jiggets is over on the right side, and Don, he'll have his hands full against Jack Youngblood.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Everybody's going to have their hands full tonight. I expect to see that ball. I bet you they don't throw more than, let's say, 20 passes all night. How about that? They're going to run that ball. Sweetness has got to get back in stride.
It's 2nd down and 8. There's one at the 20.
See there?
Fires over the middle, and it is incomplete, intended for Matsui. Coming out of the backfield, defensively, Carl Eckern from the middle linebacking position, and George Andrews. Carl Eckern, of course, for you fans who maybe are not too close to the Rams, replaced Jack Reynolds, who was released, went up to the San Francisco 49ers. Not the happiest move, according to a lot of Ram fans, but Carl Eckern is working at the middle linebacking position. 3rd down and 8. Walter Payton is now joined by Dave Williams, number 22. Williams will be in and out of the lineup tonight, depending upon situation. He comes in for the passing down. Good receiver, Williams. Vince Evans strong arms it. Almost picked off, intended for Bashnagel. Pat Thomas was there along with Nolan Cromwell, and the Bears will have to turn it over coming up with the 4th down.
One notable weakness in the Bears offense, Dandy, as you well know, absence of speed in the wide receivers. They do have speed with Ricky Watts, but Bashnagel, a marvelous person, determined player out of Penn State, lacks foot speed. They miss James Scott, who went to Canada, and they miss him terribly.
2 deep men settling in at their own 30-yard line. 47 is Leroy Irvin. Drew Hill's back there with him, number 87. Bob Parsons. Well, he can kick it a mile when he gets into it. And he hammers this one in good style. Fair catch called for. Well, it would appear as if Irvin called for a fair catch, and then down the sideline he goes.
I thought he did, too.
That flag
went down.
Yeah.
Irvin indicated fair catch at the 32-yard line, and he could be called for, I presume, unsportsmanlike conduct, delay a game, or whatever. But they'll bring it back in any event. A referee tonight, as you can see, Chuck Heberling and his fine staff. Leroy Urban.
He was just shielding the sun from his eyes. That's all it was doing.
It settled a couple hours ago.
That's right.
Procedure call indicated against the Rams. He was a little tentative about it. Let's look again.
Well, see, that's what he was just actually. Yeah, the shoulder pad. He's loosening up that shoulder pad.
That's called half a fair catch, I guess.
Right. That's it.
I don't know, but it's what Roland James should have done last Monday against Dallas and didn't.
How you remember those things? It was remarkable.
Pat Hayden at quarterback with a bruised sternum, had to leave the game a week ago. Jeff Rutledge came in relief. He also has bruised rib cartilage. If you've ever had it, it's very painful. Not necessarily dangerous, but extremely painful. 1st and 10. Rams at their own 28-yard line. The big man, Cullen Bryant, he's smashed to the turf, and he'll lose a little bit of yardage. And this is what the Rams are concerned about. The Bears play erratic football. They come in, and if they are fired up, they will absolutely jar you until you can't handle it. We came in here a year ago. Remember, they took Tampa Bay 23-0, and they did some hammering that night. Cullen Bryant stopped at the line of scrimmage, maybe gained a half a yard. We'll call it 2nd down and 10. Preston Denard, a wide receiver, number 88 to the left. Not speed, good moves, however. Billy Waddy, number 80, top of your screen. Hayden on top. Screen, Wendell Tyler. Down the sideline, stepping out of bounds at about the 34-yard line for a gain of about 5. It's going to be 3rd down and 4. Lee Coons over there defensively for the Bears, and the Bears also have their problems at middle linebacking. Tom Hicks, the veteran, had contract problems. Bears waived him. Hicks went around to Philadelphia and San Diego. Nobody picked him up. He's on the street somewhere.
Jim Fink stood firm. He had contract problems with Noah Jackson. He had contract problems with Gary Fensick. Jackson and Fensick finally came into the fold.
3rd down and 4. Should dictate pass to Pat Hayden. Deep shot.
Good one.
Complete. Willie Miller. That ball was well thrown between 2 men in a zone defense, and Pat was right on target.
Well, Willie Miller hasn't been on the receiving end of any passes this year. Frank, you did hit it very well. This is a very, very well thrown ball. Pat's had some problems. I guess you'd say offensive line problems are always quarterback problems. That ball was right on the money. Good route by Willie. I like Willie. He's the guy that kind of came in, beat some odds. Oldest member of that receiving corps. He likes to play football.
The 1st down is at the Bears' 46-yard line. Willie Miller with his first catch of the season. Hayden back. Drills over the middle, to Billy Waddy. Waddy turns on the afterburner, and he's inside the 5-yard line, down inside the 2. Terry Schmidt defensively there for the Bears was the man he beat.
2 passes in a row, the kind of passes that Hayden can throw very effectively. His problems come with trying to throw the big bomb and outthrow the defenders. This was the play that beat Dallas in the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Looks almost exactly like that. But somebody should have tipped it, then it would have been the same thing. He would have made it through there. That's a hard pass to throw, too. I mean, how many times are you going to have to throw that bomb? When you throw the bomb, you're either way behind or way ahead. Throw those kind. You move the ball down the field.
1st down, goal to go. 44-yard pickup by Billy Waddy. Hayden 2 for 2. The Rams on the move. Wendell Tyler, big opening. He bounces off. Lee Coons into the end zone, and maybe Bear fans are thinking that maybe it would have been different.
Wait a minute.
There's no touchdown. He was across the goal line before he gave up the football. I mean, there is a touchdown.
There is a touchdown.
Anytime you carry it over the goal line, you can do anything you want with it.
So very quickly, the Rams struck.
A little quick trap right in the middle here. Looking at it from the other side of the field. Reverse angle. See the guards pulling right straight in the middle. Is that Coates that comes through there?
Coons had the collision.
Right,
he had good timing. He just did not make the stop.
It's a good block. Good block. Herb Pankey came in there. 75.
Nolan Cromwell puts it down. Frank Corral puts it through the uprights, and the Rams have taken the lead 7-0 on their very first possession. They started at their own 33-yard line. Or 69 yards. The Rams are on the scoreboard. Deep is Dave Williams to accept the kickoff of Frank Corral. And the Bears, after 3 games, the weakest team defensively in the NFC, have shown you why they are rated there thus far. It's one of your locals, I presume.
Why would a man do that?
I can't imagine.
Corral bangs the ball deep into the end zone. Dave Williams very wisely settles there for the touchback, and the Bears will have possession out of their 20-yard line.
Frank, looking back on the Rams drive, two things. First, Pat Hayden is much more at ease playing in front of road fans than he is at home. Understandable psychologically the way they boo him at home. Second, I think he plays better when he knows there's another quarterback in the wings who can play. In this case, Pastorini. Third, they clearly have some of the best personnel in the league. Their problems stem from the front office turmoil. More on that later.
1st and 10. The Bears at their own 20-yard line, trying to get something happening, and Matsui gets the first call out close to the 23-yard line for a gain of 2.5 to 3 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 7. George Andrews, 52, over there to make sure that Matsui stayed put. Matsui, second-year man out of Penn State. Bears record might have been different than 1 and 2 had they not lost the opener to Green Bay, and Sui was one of the problems that day when he gave up the football with a fumble at the goal line of the Packers when the Bears were still in the game. 2nd down, 7. Evans is back. Fires incomplete over the middle, intended for Robin Earl, the big tight end, and a flag goes down, and there will be interference. George Andrews was one of the defenders, along with Johnny Johnson, the tight safety for the Rams.
Show you the kind of person Vince Evans is. Here's the call.
Pass interference. Defense. Number 20. 1st down.
He stayed in Chicago all year round. Working. We had lunch today with, among others, Papa Bear Halliston, and you heard him talking about the kind of young man Evans is.
He even made it kind of interesting, and I kind of agree. He says, I sometimes think that he works too hard at it. I said, well, I can certainly see his side of that. Johnny Johnson, they're sure pleased with him. He was part of a little problem they had there last year. They said they were paying him too much money. He seems to be coming around, doesn't he?
The 1st down is at the 28-yard line of the Bears. Evans, play action. He'll run. But he finds an open man. It's Ricky Watts, and he underthrows, and Watts would have really had himself a gainer.
Ricky Watts out of Tulsa. He is the speed merchant out there. Should have run, maybe, Frank. That ball was underthrown a little bit. You wonder why a receiver can't adjust his pattern a little bit.
You do, don't you?
Yeah, good ones really do. I think that's one of the things that separates the really good ones from those exceptional athletes who are able to come in there and adjust that pattern a little bit.
Coach Neil Armstrong flirting with a 500 coaching record.
It's 2nd down and 10. Baschnagel is out right. Top of your screen, Watts. He represents the speed. Robin Earl, the big tight end, good receiver, and quick shot to Baschnagel. He should have had it. Evans had it right on target, fired the ball before Baschnagel had made his move, and it was one that Baschnagel will think about.
He had a little all-out blitz on him that time, and he did throw it a little bit before Baschnagel made his move, but the ball was right on target. Baschnagel evidently couldn't adjust and bring it in that quickly.
3rd down and 10. The Rams adjust. They bring in extra defensive backs. Leroy Irvin's back there now, number 47. They'll bring in Joe Harris, number 51. He's good at blitzing, Joe Harris, number 51, and also a good pass defender. And the Rams are showing blitz. Evans reads it. He has an awful lot of time in a blitz situation. Overthrows downfield. The intended receiver, Marjoram, the rookie from Stanford. It'll be 4th down.
Vince lost his cool there.
Yes, he did.
No question about it. There's Ray Malavasi. He's been under fire. I mentioned front office turmoil. Examples. A, 1 minute, Pastorini's not going to be with the team. The next minute he's signed. And B, the celebrated, on the West Coast at least, case of Fred Dreyer. He claims he had a no-cut contract. He cleared waivers today. That's a matter for the law courts. We're not hedging on it. I haven't studied the contracts.
Bob Parsons to punt. You saw the deep receivers. Leroy Irvin back there with Drew Hill. Short kick by Parsons. This is Irvin. And Irvin will give the Rams good field position. up near midfield at the 49-yard line on a very poor 33-yard punt. Brian Cabral was down there defensively for the Bears. The Rams have the ball again. They lead 7-0. Our cameraman, Bill Sullivan, giving you a view of Soldier Field from the Goodyear Blimp America, hovering high overhead. On a beautiful night for football, the temperature at kickoff time was 54 degrees. It's expected to drop. Very chilly tonight here in Chicago, somewhere in the low 40s. And there is Dan Pastorini. I think Dan Pastorini has something to prove.
I also think he's settled down a little bit anyway.
It'll be interesting to watch the continuing developments out with the Los Angeles Rams. They always are. They make a great afternoon show. On 1st and 10. Handoff is to Wendell Tyler. And he is in Bear territory near the 49-yard line for a gain of 2, 2nd and 8.
Perhaps another word about the Fred Dreyer case. He claimed no-cut contract. They dropped him. Today cleared waivers. He had been sitting with the team on the bench, had become, as I said, a celebrated case. He called me 3 times today. Unfortunately, I missed all 3 calls. More in a moment.
2nd down and 8. Hayden back, has the protection. And this time he has to hurry the pass as they do close in on him. Gary Fensick down there covering defensively Preston Denard.
He has been a great player. That's a look at Noah Jackson. Might have hurt his left forehead or whatever, judging by the ice bag.
His head's pinching.
Fred's an old personal friend from when he was a top draft choice with the Giants years ago. And I feel for him emotionally. But he wanted a legal opinion from me, I am told, and I'm not in the position as a journalist of being an advocate either to an owner or a player.
3rd down and 7. Hope you got that, Fred. Pat Hayden, remember, he's playing hurt tonight. And down he goes, short of the 1st down. It did appear in the arms of Al Harris. And Hayden on his feet.
Not only that, I left the practice of law in 1953, Frank, at your behest.
Right, and they're still appealing the case in which you represented me.
I had 2 years of free law at SMU, so if Fred needs me, he can call. I can handle all that stuff.
Hayden, short of the 1st down, his 4th down. Rams with a 7-0 lead. Their very first possession. Pat Hayden took them 69 yards. And now the 2 tight ends are in. Henry Childs, 83. Walt Arnold, 84. And the Rams will go. At least they are going to give that appearance. They could just take a long count, hope for an offside. Nope, they go. Hayden in trouble. Hayden scrambling up very near a 1st down. He, however, I think is going to be a little short.
Can't believe that he is running that way. That was the option runner pass that he had that time. You can see, oh, Malavasi may have given us our answer right there. He didn't seem to like where they were marking the ball.
I don't think he made it either, Frank. Furthermore, how dangerous for Pat to run, because he came into this game with body soreness, as you know, Giff.
Body soreness, particularly those rib soreness. That was what it was a problem. They didn't make it by a little yard.
Short, and the Bears will have good field position. Sellout crowd, 64,000 plus. Malavasi did not like where that ball was marked.
That may be, but that's because he's emotionally undone. He's under fire as the coach, because this team has not played up to its personnel.
Rams, for the first time in 7 years, did not win the Western Division of the NFC last year, even though they had 11-5 record. 12-4 did it for Atlanta. Rams knocked off in the playoffs by Dallas. The Bears were 7-9 last year. And this man took over as the #1 quarterback. He had been sharing duties over the years with Mike Phipps and Bob Avellini. Started the last 10 games of 1980. 1971, this man almost, speaking of Vince Evans, was very near death with a staph infection. Came back to win the starting job a year ago. But the jury, quite frankly, is still out on Vince Evans.
0-5 might be one of the reasons.
Game's early.
Right.
Ball inside the 42-yard line of the Bears. Peyton, 34, Suey, 26. Here comes Walter. Big opening. Payton with amazing strength. Carries, ram tacklers. Principally Johnny Johnson for a first down at the 47-yard line of the Rams.
That's sweetness. It's the way we know him.
The strength and this unbelievable quickness. Right here's a little cut that comes in there. Kind of unusual, too. Walters played 3 ball games and has not gained 100 yards yet.
And he had 42 of them over his career. First down, Bears. They're down 7-0. Matsui. Nice cutback by Suey. Look at Suey drive for another Bear first down. Pat Thomas made the stop for the Rams.
It's twice in a row through the left side of that Rams line.
Take another shot coming. They got Youngblood there. A little cut block. Couldn't quite get to the outside. That was basically it.
I tell you, they're going right through Youngblood and a fellow named Mike Fanning, who is they're going right at their defensive strength.
Bears on a drive of their own. They turn back a fourth down attempt at midfield. Suey. And Suey taken by Mike Fanning. To the 35-yard line. This time assuring the Bears a first down. Carl Eckern there to help out Mike Fanning. Bears, their problems have basically been defense. They have given up over 400 yards a pop, an average of over 400 yards in their 3 previous games. Uncharacteristic of the Chicago Bears. They never have been fancy offensively, but they will play you on defense. Sweetness, Walter Payton, left side. This time stacked up at the right side. Headed there by Larry Brooks. Gain of a couple. It'll be second down and 8.
There is the gifted lawyer. He's active in the practice.
Remember last year?
He's talking
interception. Recovered a fumble. Blocked a field goal.
Did everything. They were counting him as washed up.
I wonder if he was talking with Fred Dreyer.
Might have been.
Legal counsel.
Yes.
Second down and 8. 33-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. Boschnagel split to the right. That's Ricky Watts, top of your screen. And Vince will go up on top. Jack Youngblood pressures. Pass intended for Watts, and Rod Perry, former All-Pro. Well, he's been All-Pro off and on for several years. Was there defensively.
Here's the end zone replay. Rod Perry and Pat Thomas are both undersized cornerbacks, but each has great leaping ability.
You saw
Look at that.
Mike Fanning was the guy that put some pressure on Evans when he threw, but the leaping quality that you mentioned certainly was there. Not very tall, but he got way up for that one and knocked it out. Ball was pretty well thrown.
Third down and 8. David Williams in, number 22 for the Bears, as and Payton moved. He got settled in time, however. No flags are down, but it will be fourth down. Jim Youngblood on the blitz of Vince Evans. He had to hurry the toss.
Mentioning those undersized cornerbacks reminds me, Frank, of the case of number 24, Willie Wood, and that great Lombardi Green Bay backfield. He reported in as a free agent, marked no pro prospect. He was undersized. Lombardi looked down from one end of the field to the other at St. Norbert's College, well, at the practice field, in fact, and saw a small guy under the goalpost from a standing position leap up and chin.
One of the problems of the Bears, they have no confidence in their field goal kicker, so they have brought in the punter, Bob Parsons. The ball inside the 35-yard line. Hans Nielsen has replaced an injured Bob Thomas. And the Bears perhaps were trying to draw an offside. They don't mind moving it back. They were looking for 5, and then on fourth down and 3, they probably would have gone for it. Now they indeed will probably have to punt.
Should help the kicker, actually.
If there is some wind, there is some wind. It's coming in the direction that would make right into the face of the Bears. So what is going on?
Delay of the game.
Yes.
Offense, number 86, fourth down.
Quickly to finish the story, Lombardi raced the length of the field, told Norb Hecker, his defensive backfield coach, you take care of this kid, he's going to be a star. He can jump.
Parsons angles to the right, looking for the out of bounds. He is a very accurate punter, and he has put it somewhere around the 5-yard line.
Nice
and
move by Todd Bell there. I like that.
The 7-yard line of the Rams will be deep in their own territory when we return to Soldier Field, Chicago. Don Meredith, 64,000 Bear fans, the Honey Bears, Chet and Bob, everyone's here in Chicago. Great night for football. Bears. Bob Parson kicked the ball out of bounds at the 6-yard line of the Rams. The Rams with a 7-0 lead, 6:10 remaining in the first quarter, move up to the line of scrimmage. The 2 tight ends are in, indicating the Rams will keep it on the ground. Wendell Tyler, right side, and this man can run. Wendell Tyler out over the 15, close to a Ram first down to give them breathing room. Gary Fencing defensively there for the Bears.
How did he snake through that, Don?
Well, I think it might have something to do. The Bears have the worst team in the worst defense in the league against the run. Had something to do with it. And
Cullen Bryant, 32. Look at the block he'll put on.
Not bad. You got Jackie Slater up there in front of you. I think Jackie truly is one of the outstanding offensive tackles in the game. So I'd follow him a little bit too. Almost 10 yards right on the first shot.
Buddy.
Inches short. Oh, there's Howard's Honey Bears.
Mine, eh?
Well, you got me in trouble in the Hall of Fame game. I'm going to work on your Emmy tonight.
Mike Adamley's Honey Bears. He married one of them.
Did he?
Yep.
Inches short. It'll be second down. Rams offensive line has been juggled tonight. Doug Smith, number 56, has replaced Kent Hill at left guard. We were given no reason, but obviously the Rams have not been happy with their offensive performance. They led the league in rushing a year ago. They're struggling this year. Tyler, first down. Tyler has been the one offensive weapon for the Rams this season that has been hitting on all cylinders. Otis Wilson defensively there for the Bears, number 55. He's in that Bear defense because Jerry Buckenstern is injured, will not be back until next week, we're told. And next week, we have a great game coming up. Atlanta will be at Philadelphia. That's next Monday night. And then 2 weeks from tonight, the 12th of October, Miami, now 4-0, will be at Buffalo. A couple of great games coming your way in the next 2 weeks. First and 10, Hayden back, looking for the screen. Tyler. He has blockers in front of him. Preston Denard with one. And Tyler with a nifty run out to the 30-yard line. He looks close to another Ram first down. Otis Wilson tripping up Tyler.
He is really elusive, isn't he? And how he can reverse his field. Exactly why we opened tonight's telecast with Wendell Tyler representing the ground game of the Rams.
Great balance there. This was a man that a little over a year ago, they thought he would never play again. Terrible car accident. Just 8 weeks of last season. Then came back, dislocated an elbow, and now he's back to form. Hayden, bomb, going deep. Billy Waddy's there and overthrown as Billy Waddy was picked up and covered nicely by Terry Schmidt, the man the Rams feel they can work on tonight. And they did victimize him in their opening drive with a Billy Waddy 44-yard reception from Pat Hayden. There's Terry.
Ball State.
Timmy Brown was a Ball Stater.
They've turned out some good ball players. Only one didn't pan out, Schaefer Suggs with the Jets.
Tonight is Terry Schmidt's 52nd consecutive start. Rams leading 7-0, 4:17 remaining in the first quarter. Hayden trips, but gets the handoff to Tyler. And Tyler gets yardage out over the 35-yard line, where it'll be third down and 5. Otis Wilson again defensively for the Bears.
They're working over that Hampton side of the Bears defensive line. Hampton and Osborne.
It's really puzzled Bear fans and Bear followers. Defensively, overall, dead last in the NFC. 12th against the rush, 12th against the pass. They've only had 3 sacks in the previous 3 games. Pat Hayden looks over a Bear defense he was not familiar with. Either that or he was unhappy with his personnel that had come in on a 3rd down and 5. Calls timeout. Rather than waste an effort, moving over to the sideline.
That's one of the best I've seen.
Well, they tell it like it is in Chicago.
Tell it like it is right.
And we'll be back in Chicago after this.
Is one of the most remarkable men in the entire history of American sport. George Papa Bear Hallis, now 86 years of age, 2 transplanted hips, but nothing will stop him. Nothing will deter him. He'll be here, and he will live to see his Bears rebuild and win again.
He might go back to coaching. He's done it before. 3rd down and 5. Hayden trips again, moving away from the center. On his feet, ball batted down. Ball hit into the air by Mike Hartenstein, and it'll be 4th down Rams.
You see him talking to Dennis Harrop. He tripped on Harrop the time before we saw it. All right, you see a shot. No, he didn't trip on Harrop, did he? He just fell down.
It's the artificial turf.
Yeah, it wasn't Harrop. I was wrong.
Good at trip pulling away from Rich Saul. Saul stepping back to pass block.
Could have done that. Happens quite a bit on pass blocking. The guards and tackles will set back quickly to get their pass blocking position, and sometimes the quarterback falls down.
Jeff Fisher, he went 88 yards last week against Tampa Bay. Frank Corral to punt for the Rams. Fisher at his 18-yard line. Good Corral punt. Takes Fisher back inside his 15. And Fisher with a nifty return right up the middle. Moves to the 37-yard line, and a flag is down.
Now this is another one of your Southern Californians, Fisher. He doesn't have great speed, but he is a terribly clever runner, and he broke one for the victory against Tampa Bay. You remember.
Personal foul works against the Rams. Looked like a late hit. And let's take a look at the 7th-round draft pick, who didn't really return many punts at USC, only a couple in his career. Did what he had to do, though, Don. Find that gap.
He really did. Ivory Sully is the
Unnecessary roughness. Number 37 on the run back. 1st down.
You had him, Don. Ivory Sully coming in late. And once again, the Bears have good field position. They'll be at the Rams' 47-yard line, down by 7 with 3:20 remaining in the 1st quarter. As far in the 1st quarter.
making progress, though, aren't they? Look there.
Well, they got up. They went 3 plays. They went 4. They went 6. And now they have a 1st down at the Rams' 47-yard line. We'd like to apologize if you're in an area of the country where you're getting glitches on your screen. I'm told that's what we should call it.
What do they call them?
Little glitches.
Glitches.
Little bleeps.
Don't let those glitches come get you.
Has to do with the lines between here and New York.
That's right. There's glitches on those lines.
Comes Walter Payton.
Ooh.
Walter Payton upended by a blitzing George Andrews, who has been a bit on a spot of his own since Bob Brzezinski left last year, now performs for Miami. And George Andrews had to step in the pretty big boots over there. And Bob Brzezinski is one fine linebacker.
Well, the Rams PR people would have you believe that Andrews is playing better than Bob. They mean that's because Bob didn't show up last year.
Bob knew what he was doing. The Miami Dolphins are 4-0.
Shula knew what he was doing too, didn't he?
That was no gain. 2nd down and 10. Rams show blitz, get out of it. Vince Evans comes with the pass, however, to Beishnagel. Takes the ball at the 43-yard line.
You know, I guess they're trying to get something going. He's just trying to complete some balls out there. But that kind of pass, you're not going to get more than 2 or 3 yards no matter how many times you throw it. He's down to 2nd and 10, so you still got a real tough play. That 3rd and 7 or 8. How you going to get that one?
3rd down, 7, we'll call it. The ball inside the 44-yard line of the Rams. Dave Williams, the receiving back, number 22, in for the Bears. He works well out of the backfield. Evans gets away from a blitzing Ram and upended by a nifty tackle. Number 27, Pat Thomas, the other cornerback. They're not large in stature. Both Pat Thomas, 5'9", Rod Perry, 5'9", but they make a lot of things happen.
Pat Thomas is a terrific football player, and he just wanted me to sing one verse of Hullabaloo, Connect for the Aggies. He said that you got to do that just once for me. So I said, that's it. All right, I did it, Pat. That's it.
Oh, I want to hear blue, blue, blue.
Well, I got that one.
I've heard that.
You emptied a room with it.
At lunch today.
There's Johnny Johnson. He's joined back there with Nolan Cromwell.
Whoop.
Nice snap. Parsons fields it. Hops it, angling for the sideline, and quickly a Bear is downfield. It's Dave Williams, the speedster, down there. The ball took a bare bounce, and he was right on top of it. So the Rams, once again, deep in their own territory. Well, they'll have a 1st and 10. I want to remind you, this Saturday, big college doubleheader coming your way, regional doubleheaders. Games will begin at 12 noon Eastern time, followed by the second games at 3:45 Eastern time, except for San Jose versus Fresno State. That's out on the West Coast. That'll begin at 3 o'clock Pacific time. So check the local listings for the NCAA games and the times in your area. College football at its finest. Tell you a little bit more about some of the games that will be on your screen a little later on. 1:46 in the first quarter. The Rams from their own 5-yard line. Wendell Tyler, left side. And somehow or other, he ekes out a couple of yards, moving out close to the 8-yard line. And on the sideline, Evans is moving his arm around as if he might be in some kind of pain, and he is being looked at by the staff of the Bears.
Might have hurt it when tackled by Pat Thomas.
He did. He fell right on his shoulder.
Meanwhile, Wendell Tyler has given Pat Hayden a little breathing room. They'll give him 4 yards out to the 9-yard line. 2nd down, long 6. Preston Denard split to the left. The 2 tight ends are in. Childs and Arnold. Tyler once again gets away from one Bear. Beautiful moves by Wendell Tyler. How he got out of that, I don't know. He's out close to a 1st down for the Rams, and the Bears are beginning to hear the boos.
Well, Tyler did that one on his own. You can hear those boos coming out of there. They said somebody ought to tackle him. He had about 3 shots at him. Good going, Wendell.
Avellini is warming up. We are told that Vince Evans has a bruised right shoulder.
Hey, he hasn't played since November of '79, although he started for 3 years prior to that. Rams get their 1st down out over the 15-yard line. Denard split to the left. Tyler, the workhorse tonight. And you understand why. He's upended by Gary Fencing out over the 20-yard line for a gain of 6. Final seconds ticking away here in the first quarter, and Tyler is slow getting up.
Fencing really caught him really good there.
Gary Fencing is an Ivy Leaguer that went from wide receiver when he came into the pros 6 years ago. Will really give you a hit. Into the first quarter. Tyler a little shaken. We'll be back with more action right after this. Back in Soldier Field in Chicago, and while we were away, Vince Evans, quarterback of the Chicago Bears, walked to the locker room. He had his Bear jacket draped over his arm. We've been told he has a bruised shoulder. We'll give you a further report as soon as we have detail. 2nd down and 4, the ball out over the 20-yard line of the Los Angeles Rams. They lead 7-0 as we begin 2nd quarter action. Bill Waddy split to the right. Cullen Bryant now single set back. He gets the toss from Hayden. Turns back into the arms of Otis Wilson. That's short of the 1st down, a gain of 1.
First quarter stats clearly shows the Los Angeles edge. Yards passing 80-1. Rushing a very minor edge relatively for the Rams, but that's been done by Wendell Tyler. Total yards, huge edge. Time of possession, surprisingly equal. Keeping the Bears in the game, the punting of Parsons. It has been spectacular.
Pat Hayden finds himself in a passing situation. 3rd down, long 3. Bears come with the rush. They could have been offside, and Hayden almost has a picked off by Gary Fencing, intended for Henry Childs, the tight end. Childs would have been short of the 1st down, but again, a flag is down. This works against the Bears. It'll be 1st down Rams. And that is the case. Bob Avellini will be coming in for the Chicago Bears. I mentioned he has not seen regular season action since November of 1979 when he came in for Mike Phipps against Detroit. He was a starter, was Bob Avellini for the Bears for 3 seasons, 76, 77, and 78. Nothing astounding as a 6th-round draft pick out of Maryland in 1975. And behind Avellini, in case you're wondering, Mike Phipps is available. 1st down 10. Rams just over their own 26-yard line. Hayden back. Has to hurry it. Fires it complete to Preston Denard. And Preston Denard has a 1st down and a nifty pickup out close to the 47-yard line.
He did have
Henderson, a rookie he was working against, Don.
He did have to hurry it a little bit. Preston Denard has been the guy in the last couple of years they've been coming to. They, according to Lionel Taylor, the receivers and offensive coach, he says Denard can run those routes. He's good.
Reuben Henderson gave him just too much room. We never even saw him get back into the picture. First down, Hayden once again. Cullen Bryant.
That was a good throw, too.
And Cullen Bryant with brute strength carries a Bear tackler. Gary Fensick, one of them. Otis Wilson, the other. Goes to another Ram first down.
This is when Hayden is at his best, throwing these medium-range passes, picking them apart. This one about the 14-yard range.
You know, Pat doesn't like to talk about it, but he has to throw over those big linemen. I know he gets tired of hearing that he's only 5'11", but it is a factor. Throwing between arms. Sometimes when they jump, throwing between legs.
Come on now.
On second down and 2, Cullen Bryant, first down, inside the 40-yard line of the Bears.
You'll see 75 a lot of times when they have some of those big games right there. He's going to be in. I think Irv Pankey playing Doug Francis, been the guy that's been there for so long. Pankey's doing a good job.
Key to this drive is the 3rd and 5-yard penalty on that near interception by Fensick. That gave the Rams the first down, kept their momentum going.
Waddy's pit right. Preston Denard, top of your screen. Hayden up on top. Preston Denard just did not get turned around quickly enough. Might have come up with it. Well, we have now been told that Avellini has not appeared since 1978, which would refute the Bears press guidebook, which says he played in 1979, November of 79 against Detroit. There's a leader in there, Pat Hayden. Remarkable young man, taking law school courses, completed a Rhodes Scholarship. 2nd and 10. Wendell Tyler, this time he is turned back as the Bear defense stiffens. It'll be 3rd down and long. Alan Page, the bottom of that pile.
It's a hard thing to have to keep trying to work the entire field. Parsons twice put the Rams back inside their own 10, once inside the 5.
Rams on a drive. They went 69 yards in their first possession on the arm of Pat Hayden and the nifty running of Wendell Tyler. 3rd down 9. Hayden has the time. They're saying yes. Good completion. Willie Miller, did he get both feet down? Bears say no, and the Bears are really exercised. It was right in front of the Bears bench. Terry Schmidt was defending. That ball was perfectly thrown. Let's watch.
I think this is a case of the receiver getting the ball and being pushed out.
Well, let's just take a look and find out. I thought he had both feet in, too. Kind of slows up there. See him dragging that foot. Hey, I don't know.
Good effort, Willie Miller.
Yeah, let's give it to him anyway.
Official right on top of it. Bears did not complain all that much. 11th play of this drive coming up. 1st and 10, the Rams. The Bears 20-yard line.
There it
This is Denard, and what a move Denard
Nope.
put on the rookie Reuben Henderson. They're saying he did not come down with both feet inbounds. And Wendell Tyler is hurt. He's leaving the field as we look at this again.
Another shot. Oh, beautifully. He really did put a move on him. He is wide open there. Let's see. Catch those feet. Caught the ball. Unless the left foot was on the line. Let's see if we can look at it again to the reverse angle coming from the other side. See if we can see it any better.
Well, we'll look at it a few times.
Saw Wendell Tyler. That's where Tyler got hurt right there on that side. Just saw that.
His
I guess
toe,
that
left
toe.
foot, out of bounds.
Good call.
Cullen Bryant, left side, on 1st and 10.
Go, Cullen. Go, Cullen.
Cullen Bryant inside the 10-yard line for a Ram first down. Gary Fensick upended him as Jarrell Thomas has replaced Wendell Tyler, who was off to a tremendous start in the first quarter. He limped off the field. We'll attempt to get a report.
Again from the reverse angle, looking at the other side of the field.
Not going to change.
Let's see.
That foot cannot touch
He was touching the white line there, so that was a really good call.
There is the real value of that reverse angle shot. Cullen Bryant is an absolute bull.
First down, goal to go. Earl Thomas gets a block from Hara. And Fencik bounces off the block of Hara and makes the stop. Great effort by Gary Fencik.
More and more you're seeing number 45 in there. He is making many of the Bears' tackles.
There he is. Free agent as a wide receiver out of Yale University.
Well drafted originally on the 10th round by the Miami Dolphins. He was their final cut because he suffered a punctured lung. Shula didn't want to lose him. They had to put him up for grabs, and Jim Finks took him. Here.
Wendell Tyler back in. Second down, goal to go. Hayden throws into a crowd, incomplete. Intended receiver coming out of the backfield. Cullen Bryant was there, also Preston Denard.
This has been a remarkable drive, Frank, starting from about their own 5-yard line and sustained by that penalty I referred to earlier when it was 3rd and 5 to go, and Fencik apparently nearly just missed picking off a pass when he had open territory, but they were guilty of an infraction and the drive sustained.
15th play of this drive. Childs is the tight end. Waddy is right, Denard left. And Hayden had to hurry the ball and ruled incomplete. It was Wendell Tyler out of the backfield.
They really put the pressure that time. You got Otis Wilson, one linebacker. You see Pat getting up a little slowly there. Couldn't see really what kind of throw is. Whoa, he got some pressure. That's Doug Plank coming in. He missed. There's Wilson. Ball was hit as he was thrown, a little bit low. Thought he held on to it there for a moment. Just didn't. Didn't quite do it.
Frank Corral is on for the field goal attempt. Nolan Cromwell does the holding for the Rams. Doug Smith, the snapper. Corral 3 of 4 in the season. Hit from 35, 36, and 40. Missed from 29. This will be a 24-yard attempt. And it's good. The Rams move out in front. 10-0 on a 24-yard field goal by Frank Corral. So the Rams 1-3 are looking for their second win of the season, and we'll be back. And join our ABC Sports Oktoberfest. The American League East and West Divisional Championships will start October the 6th. Dave Williams awaits the kickoff for Frank Corral, who has extended the Rams' lead to 10-0 with a 24-yard field goal. Corral pounds it high. Williams settles in at the 9, moves upfield. And nice return by Dave Williams after the 35-yard line, up into there by super special teams player Joe Harris. Bob Avellini comes out. The information we gave you.
Good shot him. Look at Peyton. Look at.
Crowd has been unhappy with Evans' performance. Now they cheer Bob Avellini. Well, Bob Avellini's been around long enough to know how that can turn.
Exactly.
Saw Walter Payton going out there waving to the crowd to come on and give us some support. And the crowd responded and started cheering. That's kind of nice.
First down 10, the Bears. They trail by 10. Their own 35-yard line. Walter Payton, right side, stays on his feet. Gets up close to the 40-yard line for a gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6.
That was a hard 4 yards that man garnered.
He's come hard all year. He came in tonight with 242 yards. Over his career, nearly 8,700 yards. He is now in 4th place all time among the NFL rushers in just 7 years. He replaced Jim Taylor as the 4th leading rusher this season. Second down 6. Payton.
Look out.
Good cutback. Walter Payton up close to a first down. Jack Youngblood doubles back to make the stop. And while they figure out whether we have a first or not, we'll pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves.
KCRG TV 9, Cedar Rapids, Iowa.
First down, Chicago Bears. The Rams have dominated on the ground and in the air. Rams leading 10-0 on long drives. They went 69 yards to score the first touchdown. They had a long drive from their own 5 a few moments ago and had to settle for a 24-yard field goal. Both teams 1-2 on the season. and both trailing their respective division leaders, Minnesota and Atlanta. Suey. Matt Suey drags the Los Angeles Rams for yardage up near another Bear first down.
Maybe a little too early, but it's kind of amazing to me how sometimes when the starting quarterback gets hurt, another guy comes in, and for some unknown reason, the whole team kind of picks up, and they've made a couple of first downs here. I mean, he didn't do anything but hand the ball off, did he?
Well, he did it well.
I guess so.
No fumbles.
No fumbles.
The ball is at the Rams' 45-yard line. The Bears need something out of this drive. Suey, Matt Suey runs into Johnny Johnson, but not until he's inside the 40.
They're breaking through that line, though, clean. They're getting...
They did.
Yeah.
And they are. And there's Matt Suey. But did you see that stop by Johnny Johnson?
Mm-hmm.
What a build that kid has from Texas. Angular, looks leaner than he really is. Great player, great athlete.
From the range.
Gain of 6 by Suey. Second down and 4. Schmagel left, Watts top of your screen. The two wide receivers. Suey.
Nothing there.
Bulls ahead.
You can go to the well once too often.
Stop just about the line of scrimmage. It'll be third down and 4. Larry Brooks, Carl Eckern leading the charge for the Rams. Matt Suey did a lot of things at Penn State. He did enough rushing to pass the likes of some of the greats. Echo Harris, Lydell Mitchell, John Capoletti, Lenny Moore. There he is, nearly 3,000 yards for Joe Paterno. Avellini, his first pass in a long time. Fires and it's complete. Matt Suey out of the backfield. A Bear first down inside the 30-yard line of the Rams.
Well, Cromwell was right there.
He's moved them to 3 consecutive first downs, something they did not or could not do under Vince Evans.
Pretty cool about all this, considering he hasn't had any combat for a while, Don.
Yep, really was. He had big old Mike Fanning, who had an arm around his leg, stepped out rather gingerly and found him an open receiver.
Bears on a move. 5:35. The clock is moving at Soldier Field. The Bears are down by 10. Walter Payton. Suey with a block out front. Fine defensive play again. The man we have been talking about, Johnny Johnson, up there quickly.
Tremendous pursuit that time. 1, 2, 5, 6, 7 of the Rams were all kind of in a row. That great pursuit over there.
And no blocking shield.
That's right. No
None
blocking.
at all.
There was a article in the paper a couple of years ago. Walter gave all the linemen, offensive linemen, brand new watches. And the writer seemed to say, little did he know that the linemen thought that they were supposed to retire after they got their watches, which of course is not true. Give me the watch back, kid.
Second down and 10, and Roland Harper, 35, is joined Walter Payton as a setback for the Bears. Avellini, flag is down. Watch
Throw. All right.
Spectacular
Great
catch, but a flag is down.
What a throw, what a catch.
Flag is down.
Ricky Watts.
Well,
Oh, too bad, guys.
bring it back.
That was-
Illegal motion. The Bears, and that was smart. A brilliant catch by Ricky Watts. Could have been Robin Earl, number 81.
That's got to be heartbreaking.
Well, that was a pretty throw and catch. Well, that was nice. Like that.
Ricky Watts showed you the speed we spoke of.
Illegal motion, number 81.
Robin Earl.
Offense, second down.
That's it, Robin. You're into the showers, kid.
Oh.
Hurry up. Get out of here.
He's the converted fullback.
Copy here your screen. He's the tight end. There he is. Whoops, and he knew he had pulled off a no-no.
That's too bad. However, that's the way it is.
Second down, 15, following the penalty. Avellini in trouble.
He's not real swift, is he?
No.
And down he goes, the man who really flung him to the carpet was number 79, Mike Fanning, but he had Rams all around him. Cody Jones was in there.
Avellini hasn't played so long, he forgot how to fall quickly. He can fall quickly back there. So there's a time to fall, there's a time to stay. That Mike Fanning is doing a good job tonight.
Well, he's a big man and a great player. Married a week ago tonight.
No kidding.
Yep.
Congratulations.
I thought you'd be at the wedding.
Well, I was in New York, or I would have been there, I'm sure.
Working Columbus Avenue.
Yes. Oh, look.
He went
Don's
to the
new
Columbus
playground.
Avenue flea market.
I like it. I like it.
3rd down and 20 for the Bears. 4:45 remaining in the first half. Avellini.
Good throw again.
Man was open. It was Barschnagel. One he could have caught.
Yeah, that went right through the hands, and that was a good throw. I think those are the tough passes to throw because you've got to hit the receiver that's coming back towards you a little bit, and you kind of lose that angle.
Barschnagel's having an unfortunate night. That's the second pass that's gone right to his hands.
They really don't have much confidence in that field goal kicker, do they? Well, that's about a...
Well, this would be a long one, but they gave up one. It would have been around 40 or 42 yards. They went with the punt, and they have their punting unit on the field once again. Johnny Johnson is back with Nolan Cromwell, trying to guess with Parsons, who is very good at angling the ball into the corners.
He did it again.
He may have caught another beauty.
Oh.
This one will go into the end zone, touchback. The Rams will have the football at their own 20-yard line. Has to be a disappointment. A touchdown pass from Avellini. Ricky Watts called back. That's smart. Bears, a test of character. They could have moved very close in this game. The touchdown called back a moment ago. They trailed 10-0. 4:28 remaining in the first half. Rams ball, 1st and 10, their own 20. Wendell Tyler around the right side, and a hustling, scrambling Bear defense was all over Wendell Tyler. Gary Campbell and Lee Kuntz in there defensively for the Bears.
A test of character, you said. That's exactly right. The ability of a team to come back after a major frustration in the course of a contest is just that, a test of character.
Gain of 1.5 yards by Tyler. 2nd down, long 8. Hayden looking to the screen. Tyler. And Wendell Tyler taken down out of the 27-yard line. A flag is down. Gary Campbell sliding out there again defensively for the Bears.
They're tackling better now, Dunn.
They certainly are.
Penalty will be against the Rams. They'll be backed up.
Ray.
Took over 4 years ago. Got himself a couple of divisional titles. Lost in the Super Bowl after the '79 season to Pittsburgh. Here's the call.
Holding, offense, during the run, number 72, 2nd down.
After Malavasi led the Rams into the Super Bowl, he got a new contract from Georgia Frontiere, the owner, who was extremely generous to him.
2nd down, 19. Hayden almost picked off and then almost caught by Preston Denard. The man they're working on tonight is Reuben Henderson, a rookie out of San Diego State and a 6th-round draft pick. The Rams have been concentrating on this young man. The Bears are really high on him. He replaced Alan Ellis, who broke his hand in preseason. And he's in there tonight, probably feeling just a little bit tentative because he knows he's getting a lot of attention.
Patol Matsui has a bruised left knee. Rapidly paced game. 3:30 left in the half.
3rd down, 19. Hayden throws it up high. Billy Waddy racing downfield. Terry Schmidt right with him, and the Rams will have to punt. And the Bears, in all probability, should things go as they would like to see them go, will have good field position. Frank Rowell comes out, started doubling in his duties last year, not only as a punter, but a field goal kicker. Jeff Fisher, we've already told you about his brilliant run against Tampa Bay a week ago of 88 yards. There's a yard short of the Bears record. Corral. Distance good. And oh. Jeff Fisher took the ball at his 45-yard line. Lucia Smith hustled downfield, nailed Fisher right in his tracks, but nevertheless, the Bears will have the ball at their own 45-yard line when we come back to Soldier Field. Here, Blimp America, hovering over Soldier Field in Chicago.
You know, I'll bet you that it takes almost 204,000 cubic feet of helium to hold that thing up there.
How'd you know that?
That's just a guess.
Came from Houston.
Yep, took about 4 days.
First down 10, the Bears, 45-yard line. Avellini remains the quarterback. We have no report thus far on Vince Evans. Flea flicker, Avellini. That's Watts. Nolan Cromwell will. Oh, well, he does not pick it off, but he was not fooled at all.
Now, there's not much surge into that line, offensive line on the run. Boy, the Jets sure pulled one off yesterday that was well executed, didn't it? You're going to fake a run, it's got to look like a run. You didn't fool anybody. Everybody at the center standing around up there saying, wait a minute, I'm going to block somebody.
Pretty spiral by Bob Avellini, but Nolan Cromwell, great athlete. It's almost become a cliche now to refer to this man as a great athlete, but he is that. Pro Bowl a year ago, probably the best at that spot in the game today. Second down and 10. Avellini draws a crowd and gets the ball to Walter Payton. Open field for Walter Payton.
Oh, look at those stutter steps.
I'm telling you, that kick up the leg, I like it.
I love to watch him.
Payton to the Rams 35-yard line, first and 10.
Like a Tennessee walking horse. You know that stick of that leg out there?
That's the way they're walking Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee walking horse.
Cody Jones hit Bob Avellini, but he was able to get it to Walter Payton. Let's watch him.
There's an excitement that Walter's going to share with us here in a moment. And the excitement is, I've got the ball in open field, and he's going to kick for us, right? Kick. Oh, another one. Kick again.
It's marvelous.
Oh! I like it. Ricky Watts seems to be the...
There's an injured Bear, and it is Ricky Watts.
Yeah.
And he appears to be all right. Perhaps the wind taken from him.
All right, the pennant race is winding down the split season. Minnesota lost to Kansas City. Cleveland behind Denny, ripping the Yanks. Baltimore beating Detroit. Interesting development. California over Chicago. Boston and Milwaukee, and that's a critical game. They're at zip in the fourth. In the National League, the Bucks shut out the Cubs in the first. The Cubs leading in the second. Phillies are ripping the Mets. Los Angeles lost to Atlanta. They're out of things. San Francisco beating Cincinnati, and that's a critical game.
Ricky Watts has left the field. Appears to be all right. Limped just a little bit now, moving well on the sidelines. First and 10. Bears have the ball inside the 35-yard line of the Rams. They're down 10-0. Walter Payton. Walter strictly on his own to the 30-yard line for a gain of a couple.
You see the way he moved that ball up for an extra yard? St. Louis beating Montreal, and that is the most critical game of all, and the Astros and San Diego tie. We'll keep you abreast of the scores.
And we could get the 2-minute warning before the Bears can get this play off. Yes, we will. Bob Avellini trying to hustle the play. The Bears will have 3 timeouts. And they will have a second down and 7. The ball near the 30-yard line of the Rams when we come back. X-rays are being taken of his right shoulder. And Bob Avellini, who last saw duty in November of 1979, is the quarterback right now for the Chicago Bears. He comes back from having a conference with Neil Armstrong, the coach of the Bears. He's been talking to coaches upstairs. They've been discussing a second down and 7 situation. Well, this had a lot of numbers on it, apparently. They were in that huddle for a while.
That's right.
Either that or Bob is just a little rusty on getting them out.
Bet you it's a pass.
Passes take longer to call.
See there?
He fooled us.
Oh, he fumbled.
Yep.
There's a bobble.
Rams got it.
Rams have the football.
Oh, sweetness. Too bad, boy.
Johnny Johnson comes out of the pile with Walter Payton's football. And the Rams, with 2 timeouts remaining, have 1:54 to try and further extend their lead.
Critical mistake right there. Critical.
No question about it.
They had their touchdown call back, and
you know, for the time they took to formulate that play, that was not a consequential result.
I knew you'd get that out. You're absolutely right.
they should have thrown, shouldn't they?
Ricky
Yes.
Watts may be lost to the Bears. We were told he has a pulled hamstring. On first down, Hayden once more. Complete. Wendell Tyler has a first down, stops the clock very smartly up at the 47-yard line with 1:46 remaining.
Otis Wilson, the linebacker, was fairly close to him there for a while, and he fell down when you're coming across him. See Wendell, a little quick fake. There we go.
The ball sharply thrown.
Wide open.
Wendell Tyler preserves the 2 timeouts the Rams had. Early in the first quarter, Hayden had to use one because of an indecision. Something he didn't like. Hayden now 8 of 17 in the first half. Hayden, good move. Over the middle is Preston Denard. It'll be short of the first down, and now Pat Hayden stops the clock with the timeout.
It was a good move that time by Denard to come back around. He was pretty well covered by the young rookie that Frank mentioned earlier, Henderson. Came back around, opened up. Good.
Pat Hayden, and he has really known the anguish over the past couple of years. 79, remember, he broke a little finger, and West Ferragamo came on, took the Rams to the Super Bowl. A broken finger again last year for Pat Hayden. We'll be back after this message from the National Football League. Rams up to the line of scrimmage, second down, a little more than a yard to go. The ball inside the 45-yard line.
Fumble.
Fumble by Tyler, and the Bears, Otis Wilson has it. Wilson inside, he fumbles the ball, and I believe there's a,
the Rams got it back.
It looks like the Rams got it back, unless Wilson's knee touched the ground before.
Hayden, look, Hayden comes out from under the pile.
And the Bears will have the football. They have 3 timeouts remaining, 1:24 on the clock remaining in half, and of course down by 10 points. Malavase says it all happens at once to me.
He said, yeah, what is this? Who are those guys?
I love that picture study.
Let's watch. I don't have any idea who did what to whom. Let's see.
That's Otis Wilson taking Tyler's fumble. Pat Hayden back there trying to do something. There's the fumble.
Now, wait a minute. Why isn't... Said he was
He
there.
was ruled down. He was in the arms of the tackler.
Oh, okay.
27-yard line of the Rams.
Gotta give it to Pat.
Avellini swatted to the carpet at the 37-yard line. Mike Fanning and Jack Youngblood were there for the Rams, along with Larry Brooks. And Avellini had Robin Earl open. He calls timeout, and now the Bears have 2 timeouts. They lost a friend.
Yes,
right.
a very good friend. His name was Bruce Roberts. He was the Chicago sports commentator for WBBN. Tragically, suddenly, at age 53, while in the studio last night, ready to deliver his usual weekend news, he was struck down by a heart attack and died. We feel so deeply about it. We would like his family to know how much we care.
Soldier Field, where Bruce was a visitor for so many times, covering events. And right now the Bears, following the sack of Avellini, have a second down and 19. Ball at the 36-yard line of the Rams. Once again, the Bears with 2 timeouts remaining. And 1:19. Bears sorely need to get something on the scoreboard here in the first half. Avellini back. No Ram even near him. He finally finds the Bears. Dave Williams out of the backfield, and he'll get 4 or 5 yards, but the crowd doesn't like it. Avellini actually worked his way back into the Rams defense.
Well, he could have run on out of bounds and picked up 5 yards and stopped the clock. They don't like it because the clock's still running. Third down.
And 14. Avellini again in trouble. Flag is down.
And he's got wide open.
Bashnagel overthrows by several yards.
Oh, Bashnagel was wide open.
Flag is down. A lot of times when a quarterback starts scrambling around back there, a blocker loses the pressure and they get this call, holding. The Bears drives.
Punt, 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 fumble.
All right.
That pretty well tells it, though.
Here's the call.
Holding, offense, number 62, refused, 4th down.
Dan Jiggets, his job to contain Jack Youngblood. He could apparently find only one way to do it.
You remember when Neil had a dark hair last year?
Something Lincoln-esque about the features.
Lincoln-esque.
Fourth down, 14. Avellini.
Yeah, he's open.
This is Joe Harris, who is such a good Ram defender in pass situations. He led the Rams in blitzing a year ago, and now he turns the ball back over to the Rams with 34 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Rams can breathe a bit of a sigh of relief.
Remember how they cheered when Avellini came in?
Yeah, but that was a long time ago. It was a long time ago. I think they're wrong because there's no one that was more open than Joe Harris. So, I mean, I think you give him a little credit for that. I mean, the guy's no dummy.
It's the old adage, hit the man that's open.
Yeah.
Rams should be able to go into the locker at halftime with a 10-0 lead. Short yardage offense. And Pat Hayden keeps it on the ground. Cullen Bryant over the 25 to the 26-yard line.
Well, the Bears have had some opportunity here really to put some points on the board, and they just haven't.
They didn't capitalize, and that's the test.
Interesting that the Bears are not attempting to stop the clock, as they'll let the seconds tick off. And that'll be the end of the first half. The Bears, victim of their own mistakes, trail 10-0. We'll be back with halftime after this message and a word from our...
In San Diego territory, throwing right down the middle to the tight end, 88, Riley Odoms, who had himself a good day, as you can see. 7-0. Denver's next possession, their own 7-yard line. Watch closely. Steve Watson. Look at him bust away from that tackler. He's all alone and looking back. A 93-yard play. Look at the stats for his last 2 games. Just exceptional. Touchdown, 14-0 Denver. Denver rolled to 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Watson's figures on the game, just incredible. 8 receptions, 178 yards. This was in the second quarter. Throwing from the shotgun, Craig Morton. And again to Steve Watson. That was the second touchdown. Denver rolled to a 42-24 win. Atlanta moved into Cleveland with an unbeaten record. They were rolling 10-0 in the second quarter, but Brian Sipe would strike back. Look at the day he had. 215 yards in passing, and this the first evidence. Throwing to Mike Pruitt coming out of the backfield. Touchdown, and it was 10-7. Then, with 54 seconds left in the first half, and Atlanta leading 10-7, Cleveland had the ball, and Sipe would strike again to his great tight end, Ozzie Newsome. Touchdown, 14-10 Cleveland. Only 40 seconds left in the half. Lehman Bennett elected not to play it safe. Bartkowski would throw. He would hit number 84, Alfred Jenkins, who would be hit by R.L. Jackson, fumble. Clay Matthews would pick the ball up and take it to the Atlanta 48. Well, Sipe never needs a lot of time. 21 seconds remaining. Sipe threw deep, intended for 33, Reggie Rucker. Interference called. It became first down on the 1-yard line. Only 14 seconds remaining in the half. Brian Sipe, he's an all-purpose quarterback too. Bootlegging the ball right in for the score. 21-10, the Browns at halftime. They rolled it to 28-10 in the second half. In the fourth quarter, Atlanta would finally strike again. Bartkowski with the great power in that throwing arm. Deep downfield to Alfred Jenkins, 56 yards to the Brownies' 24-yard line. And then finally Bartkowski again to Alfred Jenkins. Too little, too late. 28-17 Cleveland. Miami moved into troubled Baltimore, which itself is troublesome because of Burt Jones. But Miami moved in with the young quarterback David Woodley, cool under fire under the leadership of Shula. He showed it in the very first series of the game. That pass, touchdown to Tommy Vigorito out of Virginia, who excelled against Pittsburgh earlier in the season. Then in the second quarter, score 7-0. The handoff to the rookie from Nebraska, Andrew Franklin. He is developing rapidly and beautifully. That made it 14-0. But in the second quarter, Burt Jones, play action. When you've got a quarterback like Burt Jones, damaged arm or not, you never know what he's going to do. That pass to Curtis Dickey, the speedster, out of the backfield, 14-7. That was the halftime score. It was 21-14 in the third quarter. You saw Burt Jones pump and fake, throw deep, and Ray Butler, 67 yards, touchdown, 21 all. Miami took the lead again, 28-21. But Baltimore would strike back. The handoff to Curtis Dickey through that hole in the line. Then cutting right down the sidelines, an apparent touchdown, but it was ruled he stepped out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Didn't matter. He moved in 4 plays later, 28 all. Now Woodley had to get to field goal position. Not that much time remaining. With an acrobatic catch by Duriel Harris, he was able to do exactly that. Uwe van Schamen has been a great place kicker this year, and he did it again, 31-28. Were the Colts through? No. Less than a minute remaining, and Burt Jones again. 20 out of 27 on the day, 357 yards. This one deep downfield again. Over the head of Ed Taylor, the former Jet. The ball taken in by Butler again. An apparent touchdown, but no. Holding, offensive holding the call. The game ended in controversy. Miami still unbeaten. Washington moved in to play the Philadelphia Eagles in Veterans Stadium. And the Eagles had to go without Wilbert Montgomery, out with a hamstring. Jaworski took over. It was 0-0 in the second quarter without Montgomery coming out of the backfield. He threw to Dick Vermeil's nephew, Louis Jamona. In slow motion, you see Jamona pouring it on, cutting back inside, finally getting over the goal line, a 13-yard touchdown play. It was 7-0 Philadelphia. It was 7-6 at halftime. Washington unexpectedly tough. In the fourth quarter, it was still a 1-point differential, 14-13 Philadelphia, when Jaworski hit Charlie Smith out of Grambling, 21-13. They made it 24-13. And then this, Theismann penned in deep, moving back into his own end zone, looking for somebody to throw to and looking for room. But that fierce Eagles defensive charge resulted in this, a safety. And so it was 26-13. The Eagles moved on to a 36-13 crushing of the Redskins, the Eagles unbeaten. And so next Monday night, what a game we have. 2 of the 3 best teams in the NFC. The Atlanta Falcons, looking for blood, come in to go against the Eagles.
Yardage tells a tale. The Rams defense or the Chicago offense, Howard?
And the yards passing tells another tale. Although I must say, if Robin Earl hadn't been in motion, the score would have been 10-7. assuming the conversion. Under any circumstances, a rapidly paced and intense game being dominated on the ground by Wendell Tyler for the Rams. There are his statistics for the first half. 11 carries, 44 yards, 1 touchdown. And Pat Hayden, who started very swiftly, throwing very well, throwing the kinds of passes at which he's most effective, medium range. Bob Avellini had to come in, although x-rays of Vince Evans' damaged shoulder are negative. Avellini had to take over for Vince, and as Frank pointed out in the first half, his stats are better than they look. 3 out of 6, but he had a couple of passes dropped. Brian Baschnagel in particular having a difficult first half.
Drew Hill settles in for the Rams inside his 5-yard line, anticipating the kickoff of Hans Nielsen. There he is. Cut a couple of times by the Bears, finally activated with Bob Thomas, the regular kicker over the years. Suffered a hamstring pull. We'll watch Drew Hill from the 3. And Drew Hill now close to the 25-yard line, and the Rams will have the first possession here in the second half. There's a look at Hans Nielsen. In fact, he was getting ready to leave Chicago a couple of weeks ago, but another rookie borrowed his car, smashed it up. Hans happened to be around when Bob Thomas went down. Just the brakes, I guess.
You know, he better keep his eye on his job. The Sting. Chicago Sting. They've got a lot of good soccer kickers there.
Oh, they're going a little delirious over there at soccer championship here in Chicago. Wendell Tyler. Look out. And Tyler kicks it in, moves out for a Ram first down. Up around the 39-yard line. Lenny Walterscheid, that free safety, was over there for Chicago. Wendell Tyler, I'll tell you something else. He was a marvelous running back at UCLA. Set all kinds of standards there. Rams picked him up in the 3rd round. They didn't play much in '77. Had a so-so year in '78. '79, he erupted for over 1,000 yards, and then that automobile accident just before the start of the '80 season just about ended his career. Obviously, Wendell Tyler is all the way back. Hayden, Billy Waddy, Ram first down, midfield.
Beautifully run pattern by Waddy. Nice throw. Took him down deep. Made a little stop, came back in. Waddy got some good receivers. Basic little turn-in route. Got some pretty good protection that time. You see a good block there by Harrah. Sets and throws. You see Waddy come back for the ball, wide open.
Ball just inside Bear territory. That's Denard in motion. Hayden has Waddy open. It'll be 6, but he drops it right in his hands. It could have been an easy 6. Yep. Ran right by Terry Schmidt.
Well, that ball traveled about 60 yards in the air.
That's as well as you'll ever see Pat throw the bomb.
I wonder who they would boo in L.A. there.
Yeah.
Well, this one, we just talked about what he ran a good route. Time before they came right back to him. That time he just blows right by Smith, Terry Smith, and right in. Oh, that was a beautifully thrown ball. From the other side.
Something Billy Waddy does.
That's right.
He has good hands.
Nobody's perfect.
Oh, my gosh. That one went right through, didn't it?
2nd down and 10. Drew Hill relieves Waddy, gives him a blow. Here comes Wendell Tyler. Another big opening, and Tyler hammered there at the 45-yard line, gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6. Mike Hartenstein slid out there to take care of Wendell Tyler, who is again slow getting up. Mike Hartenstein, his 61st consecutive start for the Bears tonight. They haven't changed defensively much over the years. There he is now in his 7th year, also out of Penn State, as is Matsui. Third and a passing situation. Bears are blitzing. They bring everyone but the coach. Wide open is Drew Hill, a pass that was hurried but could have been caught.
That was one of those situations Pat was waiting for him to clear. Gary Finsick was in the middle there. Position. He was going to be open, but he just threw it a little bit out in front, couldn't hold on to it.
And out comes Frank Corral and the punting unit for the Rams. Jeff Fisher will guess with him, trying to get an opportunity as Corral will try and put it out of bounds inside the 20. Looks to the left side of the field. Oh, and a beautiful punt by Frank Corral.
Oh, yeah.
Right at the 5-yard line, and absolutely dead solid perfect. Frank Corral likes it also. Looks a little like the Giants. Dave Jennings when he gets one. We'll be back. Back at Soldier Field in Chicago, a great old stadium, not necessarily in creature comforts, but certainly in heritage. Dempsey and Tunney, 1927. How about that, Howard? They had a $2.5 million gate.
Used to seem huge.
Don and I both played college all-star games here.
That's right.
Bears 1st and 10 from their own 5-yard line. Matsui surges forward for perhaps a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
So Suey is back in.
He was relieved earlier by Roland Harper, who has been out with a pulled hamstring. Harper perhaps the better blocker of the two. Suey perhaps can do more things than Harper. 2nd and 9. Ken Marjoram, outstanding rookie from Stanford, number 89 in the lineup now for the Bears. Had a great career out there. But this is Suey. Flag is down as Suey to the 10. And Suey came in averaging about 5 yards an attempt tonight. But the Bears holding. I got to back them up.
So they're in a worse hole than ever. Ted Marcia-Broda, former head coach, Baltimore Colts. Neil Armstrong, head coach, Chicago Bears. Tonight's quiz, who was the Bears' 3rd-round draft pick in 1960? The answer to come short.
We know.
We know.
We
Holding offense number 62. 2nd down.
And Jaggetts again with his hands full with Jack Youngblood. We can even show you who the 3rd-round draft pick for the Bears was in 1960. But right now for the Bears, a 2nd down and 12. Avellini from his end zone has the time, fires complete. First down. And Matsui has a Bear 1st down, and we have the 3rd-round draft pick of the Bears in 1960. Jeff and Hazel's little baby boy. Why didn't you go with the Bears, Don?
Well, I talked to Mr. House about that today, and he said that he was a little disappointed he didn't pick me in the 2nd round. I want to know about the 1st round. I don't know how that happened. I'd already signed with the Cowboys anyway. Just one of those things.
Who was the Bears quarterback then? Do you recall? Bill Wade.
Might have been Billy Wade. Billy Wade or maybe Ed Brown.
The Bears got out of their end zone. 1st down and 10.
Sweetness, look out.
Oh, Walter Payton was met first by Cody Jones, and George Andrews finished the job behind the line of scrimmage.
He never had a chance. We had another visitor to this booth at halftime, one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game. He wore number 42. He quarterbacked the Bears in their glorious days as the Monsters of the Midway. His name, Sidney Luckman. He's the guy whose guest we were at lunch today.
I didn't know he wore Charlie Connolly's number.
How did you work that out?
Well, my shoe merchant down there in Mississippi is probably watching. 2nd down and 14. Oh, pressure was by Harris. We told you about his blitzing ability, and Avellini had to hurry the ball.
Nobody touched it. Harris got a good running stop.
Again, we want to remind you, a week from tonight, we'll be in the city of brotherly love, unless you happen to be playing there, and Atlanta will be. Good game coming up, and then 2 weeks from tonight, 12th of October, undefeated Miami will be up in Buffalo.
Don't count the Bills out because they've lost 2. They've been doing it without Shane Nelson and Jerry Butler. Chuck Knox's team will be back.
4 of the better teams in football you'll see in the next 2 weeks.
That's correct.
Too good. Two good games coming up.
Rams showing bliss. 3rd down, 14. Walter Payton slips one Ram tackle. Jack Youngblood, he's in a lot of trouble. Again, another loss for Walter Payton as the Rams defense is now overwhelming the Bears offensive unit.
I'm beginning to believe that Waller is right. He's got no blocking at all.
I'll tell you, when they hit you in that backfield, moments after you get the ball, there's not anything even a Walter Payton can do. There is penetration by Youngblood. Fanning has penetrated. Cody Jones. They are ripping the Bears' offensive line. Leroy Irvin has dropped deep in midfield for the Rams. Bob Parsons will be thumping from the end zone. Parsons, fine punt. Bears slow covering.
Good move by Leroy.
Leroy Irvin, he may go all the way.
He does.
Irvin, a 55-yard Ram touchdown. The Bears got one from Fisher a week ago. We saw one early in the year. Jimmy Vigorito of Virginia for the Dolphins. Nothing more exciting.
You mentioned the Bears getting down a little slowly. They certainly did, but Leroy makes a good move right there. Goes back up in the inside of that. Now he's picking up some blocks on the outside. Did most of this really on his own. No one really got very close. There's a good block.
Tell you, if you do not cover it quickly, that return man can build up ahead of speed. He is by you in a flash, and that's exactly what happened by Irvin. He ran it beautifully. And the Rams moving out further over the Bears. They lead 17-0 with a little more than 9 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Leroy, you did it well. Leroy Irvin has come through with this specialty for the Rams. 55 yards, and the Rams have moved on top 17-0. Dave Williams is deep for the Bears. Dangerous return man in his own right. Frank Corral will put it in play for the Rams. Rams lost their opener to the Packers. They lost to San Francisco, and they beat Tampa Bay. Chicago. They lost to Houston. Then they lost to New Orleans. Then they beat Green Bay last week. Both teams 1-2 thus far on the young season. Frank Corral. Not a good kick. Williams takes it at his 10. And moves out to the 30-yard line. Kirk Collins defensively made the stop.
Mayor Jane Byrne and her husband. Well, they had a moment of victory with the Chicago Sting, but otherwise Chicago teams have not fared very well through the recent years.
She's a nice lady, Art. She was at a learning disabilities school function I was at Saturday. Tickville School, a real fine school here in Chicago. Very pleasant woman. On 1st and 10, Avellini gets the ball. This is Matt Suey. Matt Suey doing his thing out to the 39-yard line, just short of a Bear first down.
He really bulled his way, didn't he?
Yes.
I'll tell you about a new starting time, particularly for you fans down in Dallas. That game will be played in Irving, Texas Stadium. It had been listed as starting at 8 o'clock Dallas time. Actually, it's going to start at 7 o'clock Dallas time. And that means it will be coming on the air 8 o'clock Eastern time. Hope you got that straight. Mainly for the Dallas fans, however. That game, October the 18th, Rams against the Cowboys. It'll be October the 18th, a special Sunday night edition of Monday Night Football. Got all that, I hope. Here comes Walter Payton. Payton gets the first down, but he has to struggle to get to the 45. 42 100-yard games for this man. Jim Brown, the only one to be better than that. He had 58. Thus far, Walter has not been able to put together a 100-yard game in this season. The more you look at great running, the more you realize that Jim Brown is the best of them all. Over 12,000 yards in 9 years. Never missed a game.
12 games, right?
Avellini hurried again under pressure, could not get the ball to Walter Payton, Mike Fanning, and Jack Youngblood.
Mike Fanning and Joe Harris have become dominant figures in this game. It was Harris who made the final block that sprung Leroy Irvin loose on his touchdown jaunt on the punt return. Fanning has played the game in the Bears backfield.
We're going to pause 5 seconds and allow our stations to identify themselves. Thus far tonight, Bears come up looking at a 2nd down and 10. The Rams like to blitz on this situation. They like to blitz number 51. That's Joe Harris. There's Matsui on the 2nd and long. Picks up a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd down and 9. And the defensive changes come in on the long yardage. We got an end zone cameraman, Joe Catuno, and he is a new daddy along with his wife Susan. They have a little baby girl named Lauren. We'd like to congratulate them both.
There he is right there. There you go, Joey, right in the scoreboard.
Well, we stuck him out there in left field. Avellini, 3rd down and 9. Pressure again. Avellini dropped by Mike Fanning, who was in on the rush and then doubled back to make the stop.
Good defensive coverage by the Rams that time. They read the screen right in the beginning. Went right out there with them. The Rams set up a better screen than did the Bears that time.
Bob Parsons, whose right leg is being thoroughly exercised this evening, comes back into the lineup. And we know that the special teams coach has discussed the return of 55 yards by this man, Leroy Irvin. Parsons, this one high and directed for Drew Hill, and a little bit of a scuffle breaks out as Parsons has hit a beauty.
Parsons has done a good job. I tell you, he's been their biggest offensive weapon tonight. He's at least made the Rams go some before they make their scores.
This one will be marked very close to the 5-yard line. The Rams in deep territory of their own, but they've had no problem before.
This is the famous meet.
We're back in Chicago. Beautiful night for football. A little bit of a nip in the air. The overcoats have come out. Bears fans, again, a capacity crowd, 64,000 plus. Disappointed, obviously, that the Bears are not showing better tonight. Meanwhile, the Rams, with a 17-0 lead, have a 1st and 10. The ball at their own 7-yard line. Wendell Tyler, who's performed brilliantly tonight. Out over the 10, close to the 12-yard line. Gain of 4, it'll be 2nd and 6. Al Harris is in there, number 90 for the Bears now defensively. 1st round draft pick a couple of years ago. Now they mark it out over the 12, so it'll be 2nd down and 5. For Pat Hayden, who has been sharp tonight. As you joined us late, told you Dan Pastorini is on the Ram roster. Here comes Tyler again. Another flag is down as Tyler has the 1st down out over the 21, dependent upon the penalty. Oh, so familiar, this call the past couple of years.
Some finals, the Royals over the Twins, the Indians over the Yanks. Baltimore beat Detroit in a very big one. Boston, Milwaukee. Milwaukee won. They're back in 1st place. American League East. California over Chicago. In the National League, Pittsburgh won the 1st, losing the 2nd. Phils beat the Mets. And Atlanta over the Dodgers. San Francisco over Cincinnati. That's a biggie. Now, St. Louis has defeated Montreal. St. Louis very much alive. Another game against Montreal tomorrow. Houston won. Makes hay over the Cincinnati loss. Frank.
2nd down and 11. Wendell Tyler stacked up. Big Mike Hartenstein was there. It'll be 3rd and long for the Rams. Otis Wilson helping Mike Hartenstein, who's played a fine game tonight. Had a lot of calls. And Pat Hayden is in a passing situation, but deep in his own territory. We don't really know what he'll come with.
Dennis Hara is limping off. Frank, I saw it. Looked like someone fell into his leg, knee, ankle, something a while ago.
Pro bowler from a year ago. Fine guard.
Dennis has had this little gap in his front teeth. They've been giving him a lot of trouble because he had braces put on his teeth this year. And I can see a little shot of him there. He says, I just had that gap in my front teeth all my life, and I want to do something about it.
I'll tell you, Doug France is hurting on that Ram offensive line. He had shoulder surgery in the offseason. Now it's bothering him again. Herb Pankey's at left tackle. Doug Smith now is in there at one guard. Bill Bain, number 62, is in there for Dennis Harrah. 3rd and 10. Bobble the ball, and the Bears may have it. They're saying they do. Now Pat Hayden covered, and the Ram punting unit will come onto the field, and the Bears should have good field position.
Here that time that the Bears outguessed them. They came in with a defense that I really think Pat realized that they couldn't handle. So the play he had called was not going to work. Rather than risk a fumble, he just, I believe, took the ball and stayed right in the middle.
There's Jeff Fisher. Just about his own 45-yard line, respecting Frank Corral. And if there is a breeze, it will be favoring Corral. Hard to tell here at Soldier Field. A little motion of the hands indicated that's when he wanted it snapped. Good punt, Corral, from his own end zone. Fisher, flag goes down as Fisher goes. Now there are flags all over the field. This will be a multiple call.
Walt Arnold was a big one down there that time.
Clipping against the Chicago Bears. Must have been obvious because every flag flew.
Walt Arnold, number 84.
Oh, is it obvious?
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to do it properly.
That's old Willie McClendon.
Oh, yes.
Well, from back on their own 5 or 10-yard line, the Rams in that exchange came out pretty well.
Personal foul, clipping, number 37 on the run back. First down.
You're not kidding about that. So the Bears have hurt themselves once again. And they will have the ball at their own 33-yard line when we come back. Solid Oktoberfest because we've got a whole lot going on. So join us for the American League East and West Divisional Championships. And that'll start October the 6th. We're in Chicago. The Bears have hurt themselves time and time again tonight. They trail 17-0, 4:24 remaining in the 3rd quarter. They have a 1st and 10, the ball at their own 33-yard line. Sprained knee for Dennis Harrah is the first report. Avellini in a peck of trouble and gets out of it. And Avellini gets out over the 35. Gain of a couple. George Andrews took him out of bounds.
Very rarely does the wide receiver have a setup on a linebacker. But that time, Brian Bashnagel really zeroed in on George Andrews coming across the line there and crackback block.
Andrews is down also. You might have saw just a flash of it as Avellini got to the out of bounds area.
Well, Andrews certainly didn't see Bashnagel when he was coming.
He really was blindsided. George Andrews remains on the carpet here at Soldier Field being treated, and we'll be back in a moment.
For the Chicago Bears right there, 9 possessions, 7 punts, 1 interception, 1 fumble. Not what you'd call a scintillating offense.
2nd down and 8 for Bob Avellini. The ball just over his own 35-yard line. Andrews has gone out. Joe Harris is in, number 51. Andrews getting off the field in his own locomotion. Here comes Walter Payton to the 40-yard line, and Walter just can't find the gaps tonight. It'll be 3rd down and 4, taken there by Carl Eckern, the middle linebacker of the Rams.
I don't care how great you are, this kind of evening has to be so discouraging and frustrating, maybe even especially for so great a star.
I would think so. He, from what I've read this week, he really has gotten off to a slow start. A lot of frustration.
3rd and 4, and Avellini will put it in the air. Walter Payton. It depends on where they mark it, whether or not it will be a 1st down. He was hit hard by Carl Eckern, and they mark it in an area that will give the Bears the 1st down. was just a good effort on Walder's part to hold on. Carl Eckern really gave him a pop. George Andrews, we are glad to report, is back in the game. Just the wind knocked out of George Andrews by that block from Brian Baschnagel. Bears ball inside their own 45, 1st and 10. Avellini throwing short. Matsui suffers this time.
He's going to get those backs killed in there. Eckern can tackle.
Like shooting ducks as they come
He's
across.
throwing very quickly. Get rid of this ball,
He's
guys.
getting rid of it in self-defense.
One of the options that the quarterback has.
If somebody's going to get killed, Avellini wants it to be another man.
Look at Eckern. He's really got him lined up.
Yeah, he really does.
Wow.
That was 2 in a row there. They'll start having straw votes in the huddle that says who's going to go over the middle. Well, if not, I did last time. It's your turn, Walter.
I don't want the ball.
Yeah.
2nd down and 8. Walter Payton. Good Ram defense.
I'll tell you.
Overpowering the Bears offensive line. Johnny Johnson strung it out. The Rams were all over Walter Payton. Joe Harris was there. Nolan Cromwell. And from the other side of the field, Jim Youngblood.
I like the look and cut of that number 51, Joe Harris. He has played some games tonight.
3rd down and 10.
Got to remember, Frank, as you look at Harris and his stats, the Rams lost their first 2 games last year. We had them on a Thursday night when they blew one to Tampa Bay, remember?
Well, they have great talent, there's no question. And they apparently are getting it together tonight. Avellini again in trouble. Spins out. Gets the ball to Williams. And Williams dropped for a 3-yard loss by Jim Youngblood. You talk about a defense overwhelming an offense. They're doing it in every area.
They've really done it in the coverage downfield. That secondary has done an excellent job. See, this will make it 10 possessions, 8 punts, a fumble, and an interception. See how well I remember those statistics?
Moving right along.
Parsons should be able to punt well. He gets so much practice. Irvin at the 15-yard line for the Rams. This will be Drew Hill. And Hill taken out of bounds at the 20-yard line. Hustling down there, Al Harris. Frustrating night for one of the great players ever to play this game. Reminder once again, Saturday, college football, an NCAA regional doubleheader. Games will begin at 12 noon Eastern time, followed by second games at 3:45 Eastern time. That is, except for on the West Coast when San Jose will meet Fresno State beginning at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So check the local listings for the games and the times in your area. College football right here on ABC. 1st and 10. Rams. Wendell Tyler.
Good move
What
by
a
Wendell.
clever runner. Gain of about 8. Lenny Walter-Scheid defensively for the Bears. Al Harris also there defensively. This man has excited and thrilled so many people, and there he is with his offensive linemen, and you know they've got to be down just a little because they have really been overwhelmed tonight. They miss, quite frankly, the right tackle. Dennis Lick hurt his knee this past week. Could be out for the season. 2nd down and 2. Cullen Bryant, the steady one for the Rams. Close to a 1st down before he's hit by Lee Coons. And I say steady one because last year Cullen Bryant started in that backfield every game, and he started with 5 different setbacks over the season. He was the stabilizing influence. Final seconds ticking off here in the 3rd quarter. And I would suspect the Rams will just let them tick off with a commanding 17-0 lead. That's exactly what they'll be doing. And there it is. You're watching another exclusive of ABC Sports. Frank Gifford with Howard Cosell, our singing cowboy, Don Meredith.
Yes.
One of the great social observers taking in the site here at Soldier Field. Crowd of 64,000 plus. That's not counting the Bears. Some of them might not have shown up. 1st and 10 as we begin the 4th quarter. Hayden Has the time, has the receiver. It's Henry Childs. Childs hit hard, bobbles the ball. Bears have it. Lenny Walterschild came up with the football, but it was Lee Coons who hit Henry Childs a shot in the back, and he coughed it up.
Oh, he really did. Good protection, coming back, sets in the pocket. Childs cut across the middle. Out in front of Coons. Bam! That's Finsick.
Finsick is the man. Coons made the tackle. Now we'll see if a little chat that Walter Payton had with his Bear offensive lineman on the bench during the intermission between the third and fourth quarter will make any difference. Matsui, left side, couple of yards, 2nd and 8. The crowd doesn't like it at all.
A, they don't like the play calling. B, they don't like the play of the Bears offensive line. There are the third quarter stats, overwhelmingly in total yardage for the Rams. They've taken over the game completely. The yards passing reflective of itself, and yet the time of possession favors the Bears.
2nd down and 8.
Oh, yeah.
Walter Payton this time doing his thing for a first down inside the 40-yard line. Pat Thomas there defensively.
He really did do his thing that time. Akron had a shot at him, and Walter has that.
Shows you what he can do if he gets just one gap.
That's right. Nobody knows the trouble he's seen. Nobody knows until you can't find your gap.
Blue, blue, blue.
That'll empty a room.
Boom.
That's Suey. Crowd won't like this either. Oop. Actually, the way Avellini has been harassed is not a bad idea once in a while to send a man through on a trap or a draw to keep that Ram defensive line honest. But when you're down 17-0, you got to be a risk taker. Central Division. Right now, Detroit 2-2, Minnesota's 2-2, Tampa Bay's 2-2, Green Bay's 1-3.
That's a pretty telling sign.
How about just playing save Walter? To the outside is Payton, and he left the football, and a Ram has it. Johnny Johnson.
2 fumbles. Both by Walter Payton tonight.
He's just trying so hard. He's doing things perhaps he should not be trying to do with his body. And he's lost it twice tonight.
He's mad at himself. You can see it.
Well, both of you, I guess, probably, that's right. He's trying so hard, trying to get out, carries that ball out there. Trying to move to make that extra yards. Johnny Johnson was the guy that came up, and he just left the ball right there.
Hey, stripped Johnson, who knocked it out of Payton's arms, and it bounced right into his hands.
Stripped him.
Another error by the Chicago Bears, and the Rams have the football. They have it at their own 38-yard line. Good field position. This man, tough night. Is developing into a good football player.
Well,
a lot of controversy last year, as you recall, Howard, about him.
Over the money he was paid.
He said, hi, Mom, and hi, Dad. I like that. And everybody at LaGrange.
Rams have the ball, their own 38-yard line. Hayden.
Got it wide open down there.
Man, wide open. Oh, and Wendell Tyler started to run before he found the handle. How many is Pat had dropped tonight?
Well, he had one right in the end zone that was dropped by Waddy.
Well, the folks in Southern California watching this, how could they possibly boo on this reverse angle shot? Pat Hayden, he's having a whale of a night. He's not beleaguered by hometown fans, of whom he once said something is wrong with American sports. It's a product of the times. The reaction fans have is like recreational violence.
They might have a hard time figuring that one out. 2nd and 10.
He got pounded that time.
Oh, did he get hit?
Oh, boy.
And again,
Mike
Jim Osborne, and Mike Phipps now warming up for the Bears. But Jim Osborne really hit Pat Hayden. We told you he was playing hurt. Bruised sternum, bruised rib cartilage. And he's up and back into the huddle.
That's right where Osborne hit him, too. He delivered that ball, caught him right in the ribs. What's that hand holding stuff?
3rd down and 10. Split wide to the left. That's Billy Waddy in motion. Here comes the blitz on Hayden, and down he goes. Hustling in there, number 23, Lenny Walterscheid. First sack of the night.
Well, they're showing some life.
They are. That was a good defensive move there.
Those are the things you do when you're way down defensively, but the Bears have not been able to do the things you must do offensively. Little off-tackle plays won't get it done when you're trailing 17-0. Here's Frank Corral. Jeff Fisher deep for the Bears. There he is, moving up close to his own 35-yard line. Corral, high kick. Fair catch indicated for Fisher, and he got away from the football. If that ball would have touched him, the Rams could have recovered it. Let it roll, and it rolls all the way to the 10-yard line.
Quite a kick.
So the Bears, who've had difficulty generating that much offense throughout the night, will have 90 yards to go, and we're going to see a new quarterback. It'll be Mike Phipps for the Bears when we come back. This man, the Bears have no more quarterbacks.
Yeah, but you look at that record, 14 wins, 6 losses. You wonder why he's number 3.
We do wonder. He was a starting quarterback for him a year ago, started 6 games before Vince Evans replaced him. He didn't do well last year. First down and 10. Mike Phipps looks it over. Right to the air. Walter Payton. And Payton struggles up close to a first down. In the arms of George Andrews.
Hi, George. I think he's got it.
I think so, Joe. I think you're right.
Rams have put it together. They have had so many problems, totally unrelated to football. I guess you could say the Fred Dyer incident, football related. Over the past couple of years, they've had so many problems away from the game out there. It seems to have affected them in the early going this year. And they're playing tonight as we watch Roland Harper, his first carry of the night, gain a couple of yards. Fans don't like it. They want to see the ball either up in the air or they want to see it in the hands of Walter Payton.
When you're losing 17-0, you got to go to the air. Fourth quarter. 11 minutes left.
Ram pass defense. Leroy Irvin has come in, giving them the 5th man. Joe Harris, a dangerous man, comes in for the Rams. He's number 51. He's been all over the field tonight. Mike Phipps will feel pressure. Over the middle. Walter Payton is the receiver. Leroy Irvin, the 5th man defensively in the secondary for the Rams, makes the stop.
Picked up 2 yards.
Maybe 3.
We saw Irvin get his first starting chance in a home game last year against Dallas when the Rams really destroyed Dallas. Or certainly it was a critical start for him. And the guy has tremendous value, as you've seen, as a kick runner and as a nickel back.
3rd down and 5. Phipps is back. Throws into a crowd. It's incomplete, trying to get to Breisnagel. Pat Thomas was there. And it will be 4th down. The Bears will have to turn it over.
Nobody really open back there that time. Again, that Rams with the nickel back, even if they don't have the 5 backs, they cover very well in that secondary. They had it pretty well covered that time.
Bob Parsons. 9th punt of the night. Irvin is deep. Drew Hill is back there. And there's a little discussion by the officials down on the field, and now we're ready to begin. Inside 10 minutes remaining in the game. Crowd beginning to trickle away. Bears down by 17. Parsons. This time it doesn't turn over. Irvin. And Irvin taken at the 45-yard line. Hustling down there, number 54 was Brian Cabral. So the Rams will once again have good field position. have the game well in hand at the moment, but most anything could happen. Stick with us. Chicago, where so many great Bears in the past have performed so well. You think of the Butkuses, and of course we go back to some of the greats, Red Grange, Sid Luckman, and we like to also tell you that Sid Luckman's going through a very special personal problem, and we certainly wish he and his wife Estelle well. She is in Sloan Kettering Hospital in New York. And it's been a tough time for Sid. Here comes Cullen Bryant around the right side, stepping out of bounds, short of the first down, a gain of about 9.
So glad you mentioned that, because Estelle Luckman, whom I've known for 45 years, maybe even longer, grew up in Brooklyn with me, as Sid did, is a great lady, and she's showing significant improvement under the simply marvelous medical ministrations of a very, very famous doctor, Dr. Beatty, at Sloan Kettering.
Wish you well.
We sure do.
Second down, a little more than a yard to go. Ball once again in Bear territory. It's been there a lot. Hayden going deep. And in a battle for the football, Reuben Henderson wins the duel with Preston Denard and almost comes up with an interception. That was really fine coverage by Reuben Henderson on Denard. Tonight, Joseph Granville did his predictions, caused today's worldwide stock market chaos. Well, he'll be on live tonight on Nightline with Ted Koppel. Boy, he really did shake things up. Didn't he do that about a few months ago?
He did it a prior time, yes.
75.
Third down, a little more than 1 to go for the first. Wendell Tyler, flag is down. Tyler stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. A first down will be dependent upon the marking of the ball and the discussion. When it rains, it pours. It'll be a Ram first down. But you know, you think back of all the greats. Don, I know you played a lot of Bear teams. Maybe they weren't on the top, but they always came out. You knew you were in a dogfight with them, no matter what.
Historically, it's true.
Encroachment, defense, number 55, first down.
Their defenses were the kind of the things they were always. You come to Chicago and you think about the defenses. Bill George's linebackers.
I'll never forget the '63 title game when the Bears beat the Giants here.
Ed O'Bradovich.
Doug Atkins was one of the first really big guys.
Larry Morris was the MVP. Picked off 2 Tittle screen passes.
O'Bradovich used to hit the guy that cleaned the Bears' shoes before he left the locker room. Hayden. Good play there. Great catch by Preston Denard, coming back, working again against Reuben Henderson, who's being initiated tonight. The young rookie from San Diego State. Henderson, I think, just said to Preston Denard, nice catch.
Well, it was a good catch. The ball was a little bit underthrown. I think Preston may have got his foot or ankle kind of caught under. He or Henderson won. You see,
That's interesting.
Well, I think he caught it, though. That was a nice
he
effort.
scooped it up.
Yeah, he came back in there.
And not bad coverage by Henderson. Very well timed out. First down and 10. Ball at the 24. Here comes Denard on the reverse. Hey, flag goes down. Denard is stacked up by Al Harris in pursuit inside the 20.
I like the way he found his hole.
He did. He made a good move back there. He threw it to him on one side, came back for a little reverse.
Going to work against the Rams. Illegal use of hands. Preston Denard, quite a find for the Rams in '78. Came as a free agent. Nobody cared much about him, and all of a sudden he started giving you those good moves, and they knew they had a real find. Here's the call.
Illegal use of the hands, number 83, offense, first down.
Henry Childs, who performed for the past 6 years or so with New Orleans, the guilty Ram offensive man. Down remains the same. It'll be first down and 17. Denard out to the left of Billy Waddy. He goes right. Hayden, man, is wide open as off the hands of Childs. Thrown a little behind him, but again, as it passed him, could have, should have been caught.
A little bit behind. Got an injured Ram back here.
I'll tell you, Pat can catch him for him.
Yeah, that's true. You got to get him out there. Oh, boy.
Bad sign.
Slater, isn't it?
Jackie Slater, I believe, is the...
There is a super...
This offensive line is being decimated.
But he is a super player.
And they're looking at the right knee.
It's all the Rams need.
In a lot of trouble. Dennis Harrow went out with a knee problem earlier. Doug France has a very bad shoulder. They're just about out of offensive linemen, and Jackie Slater is being treated now.
Vince Evans back on the bench. Facial similarity in terms of bone construction to the Juice.
Vince Evans, we told you earlier, x-rays negative on his right shoulder. But obviously, he's going to have a problem for a while. We'll be back. Jackie Slater ran off the field. He is still being looked at on the sidelines, and into the ball game comes Doug France. And I know, Howard, you had a rather interesting conversation with France, who had shoulder surgery recently off season.
Yeah, we'll tell it right after this play.
First down, 27 now for the Rams. Quick count by Hayden, and it gives him a little additional time. Denard is there, or rather Jeff Moore is the intended receiver, and a flag is down. And a makeshift offensive line gave Pat Hayden time to get it off.
That one was not very well thrown.
No, it was not. It was a waffle ball, and it was a silly, needless penalty.
The Bears have hurt themselves again.
Pass interference. Number 20. Defense. First down.
The rookie, Reuben Henderson. Watch again. Not even sure that Reuben realized he was colliding with Jeff Moore. We now have France at left tackle. Irv Pankey has moved over to right tackle. Bill Bain is in there at right guard. Here comes Wendell Tyler. Should be able to sprint to the corner. Does so easily. Touchdown, Los Angeles.
All right, quickly to that Doug France story, because he is in there. He frankly admitted, Frank, that he's had 3 shoulder operations, had a torn rotator cuff, as you know, and he says his problem is now mental. He gets in there, he wants to hit, but he's afraid to. He's afraid of a recurrence. Very candid confession from a huge man and a very great player out of Ohio State.
Rams will line it up for Frank Corral. Fans are getting a little restless. 8:58 remaining in the game. Roland Cromwell grabs a high snap, gets it down, and the Rams have moved out on top. They lead 24-0.
And the fans are leaving in droves. There you go, Wendell.
Good to see this Ram team come back, because I've mentioned it several times. We talked about it early in the game. They've had a lot of adversity, getting a lot of heat, and they have great talent. Their job is to just put everything out of their minds and play the game of football as they know they can. Reminder again, we'll be in Philadelphia when Atlanta brings their Falcons to meet the Eagles, and then 2 weeks from tonight, Miami against Buffalo. Don Shula has done it again with a lot of help from his young players, and he's got himself a young football team that has really come on. That coming your way. And next Sunday for Chicago, they will travel to play Minnesota. Well, next Sunday, the Rams will be home for Cleveland, and Cleveland is spectacular comeback victory yesterday over the Atlanta Falcons to knock Atlanta out of the unbeaten ranks. Atlanta would like to even Philadelphia's record when they meet them next Monday night.
That's a different Minnesota team, by the way, from the one we saw against Oakland. I watched them yesterday against Green Bay, and they were dynamite with Tommy Kramer back, that tight end Sensor.
But it was their defense that just overpowered Green Bay.
That's true.
Here's Dave Williams from his end zone. Williams down at the 19-yard line. Haro Penaranda down there for the Rams, the rookie from UCLA. Mike Phipps returns.
Tell you also looked terrific, Frank, was Ted Brown.
Yeah, he was hurting when we were up there a couple of weeks ago. The Honey Bears. And here are the other Bears. Not having a good night, offensively or defensively. Phipps, a former Cleveland Brown quarterback. Oh, they'll call that against Johnny Johnson. He came in early as Walter Payton was sprinting down the sidelines.
And Walter caught the ball. That was a heck of a catch, as a matter of fact.
He actually hit him before the ball got there.
Well, I don't see how he caught the ball. That's really wild.
I'll tell you, that is concentration.
That concentration is right. Oh.
Is he a tough little cookie, that Payton?
Let's listen to the call.
Pass interference, number 53 on the defense.
53.
It'll be refused. The pass was complete. First down.
Well, they give it to Jim Youngblood. They could have given it to either one, I guess. But you know that tonight is the 83rd consecutive start for Walter Payton. Now, that's a running back that just gets pounded every week. That'll tell you how tough that little man is.
So he missed 2 games, I think, hasn't he, in his entire career.
Midfield for the Chicago Bears. They'd like to salvage a little dignity tonight. Phipps goes down. Larry Brooks, a Pro Bowler from a year ago. Cody Jones also pressuring. Cody Jones having taken the spot held so long by Fred Dreyer, who, as you probably know, very celebrated incident over the past couple of weeks where he was on the sidelines waving to fans and waved by the Rams. He cleared waivers today. Man they brought on the roster, Dan Pastorini. Second down and 13. Walter Payton gets away from Youngblood, and Walter Payton inside the 30-yard line as Kirk Collins is there for the stop, and another flag is down. Face mask, I believe.
I'll tell you, that was not a nice tackle. Face mask. You saw it. It was clear.
You see number 95, Phil Murphy, weighs 300 pounds is what they have. He's one of the bigger ones around.
Well, they don't know for sure. They have to take him to the ice house.
That's true. Yeah, that was not very nice, you know that? That man went to a Baptist school, too, from Baylor. Kirk Collins.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 42 on the defense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
So the Bears are inside the 15-yard line of the Rams.
We had a graphic a moment ago. Bears haven't been shut out since 79. They may not be shut out tonight. But what a job Detroit did yesterday in shutting out Oakland for the first time since 1966.
September the 10th.
And who was it? It was Detroit, I believe.
Houston.
Well, I got it wrong.
Well, I just took a guess. It might not have been Houston either.
The intended receiver, Marcus Anderson. Mike Phipps delivers.
I tell you, that Detroit defense looked spectacular.
They got part of it right.
Turn out the lights and the Bears will win. We'll see them later in the year against Detroit. What a matchup that will be. Hopefully they'll be a little more together offensively as Billy Sims and Walter Payton will lock horns. You know, they're in the Central Division, and who knows, an 8-8 record might win it. Second and 10. Phipps fires, almost intercepted, intended for Marjoram, the rookie from Stanford. Johnny Johnson had it in his sights, couldn't handle it. Third down and 10. Dave Williams comes in. That's not Dave. So we have Payton and Williams in the backfield for the Bears, both good receivers. Ken Marjoram, third-round draft pick and a record-setting receiver at Stanford over the past few years. He's in there, number 89, and Marcus Anderson, first-year man out of Tulane. Anderson split to the left, Marjoram to the right. Jack Youngblood forces the throw, and Williams has the ball. Touchdown, Bears. They will not be shut out. Good shot by Mike Phipps, because Jack Youngblood, who has been romping around in his backfield all night long, was right in there once again.
You start off, you see some kind of new numbers in the Rams backfield. David Williams, number 22, had a good shot. Rod Perry made a move, came across in the inside. From the other side, the reverse angle, take another look at it. He's still going to score.
There he is. Dave Williams into the end zone, and now the Bears will unveil Hans Nielsen.
Hans.
And the Bears have erased the goose egg. It's 24-7 the Rams. Dave Williams played out with the 49ers for a while, went up to Canada, brought him in a couple of years ago. Can do a lot of things. Good return man. We told you earlier about his return of a year ago, 98 yards in an overtime game against Detroit. Bears like to utilize him out of the backfield as a receiver, and that time it paid off. Once again, standings in the NFC Central Division, the division with the Bears. Detroit 2-2, Minnesota 2-2, Tampa Bay 2-2, Green Bay 1-3. Bears heading for a 1-3 mark. And in the Western Division of the NFC, Atlanta 3-1, with getting knocked off yesterday by Cleveland. San Francisco is 2-2, New Orleans 1-3, and of course LA is going to draw even at 2-2 tonight. Rams are thinking onside kick with 7:38 remaining in the game. Drew Hill has dropped, and we're going to probably get the onside kick. A cute little maneuver. It had to go 10 yards. It didn't even begin to.
Hans, that way to go, Hans.
You go, Hans. You better get that car fixed, pal. So Rams will have the football. And good position, and apparently there was a flag down, a discussion. Here's the call.
Free kick, out of bounds, untouched, 5 yards, free kick.
Oh, and no one touched it, so they'll get another opportunity for an onside kick.
Hans didn't realize that either. He ran off the field.
Wants to know where his car is.
So this time they'll kick from the 30-yard line. That's a cute little shift they have. Let's see if they come with it again. They might kick away on this one, and they do. And dropping deep is Jarrell Thomas. And Thomas gets the ball out to the 29-yard line, where he's piled up by a host of Bears. Bears apparently, with a 5-yard assessment on that penalty, decided they did not. First of all, they'd lost their element of. Here comes the Bear blitz. Hayden reads it, fires intended for Drew Hill, a little behind him. It'll be 3rd and 18.
Incidentally, this telecast is presented by the authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the expressed written consent of the National Football League is prohibited. So I would remind listeners of that. Sometimes
You did it well.
Thank you.
Had your actor's voice working for you.
Hello, football fans everywhere.
3rd down 18, Los Angeles. Put the 3 wide receivers in. Flag is down. Hayden has the ball, batted away by Jim Osborne, which could again work against the Rams.
Holding the whole line.
game is really falling apart, Jim.
Yes. Incidentally, this game was intended for the private use of our audience. No.
Oh, you did it right.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, this game isn't falling.
This will be a decline. The Bears want the
Holding.
football.
Offense, number 62, refused. 4th down.
Bill Bain, who was pressed into service for Dennis Hara, had to leave the game.
This game fell.
Becky Slater, by the way, is back in the lineup. And here's Jeff Fisher. The rookie 7th-round draft pick out of USC. Frank Corral will punt. Corral, not a good kick, and is taken short there by Doug Plank, and a flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Plank gets it back into Ram territory at the 47, but another flag down. And again against the Rams.
They won't take that one. They want the ball. Got in pretty good position.
Here's our call.
Illegal motion. Number 44, offense, refused. 1st
Very
down.
perceptive of you, Don.
Yes.
Beginning to stutter a little out there.
Bears offense back on the field. They have struggled tonight. Overwhelmed at times by the Ram defense. And underwhelmed by their own performance. Phipps remains the quarterback. Screen to Walter Payton. He has some running room. And Walter Payton slips, goes down at the 35-yard line. George Andrews made sure there. And leaving the field is Bob Fisher of the Bears, number 85.
Appears to be a flag down over on the other side.
Even in the face of a terrible team performance. Look at that. 7 receptions, 108 yards. The man is such a great player. Extraordinary. So many uses.
Personal foul, Bears.
Holding, offense, number 89, 1st down.
Ken Marjoram, the rookie from Stanford. There's Bob Fisher. We told you about him limping off the field a moment ago. 2nd-year man out of your school, Don, SMU.
Smooth. Bob, hope get well soon.
Down remains the same. It'll be 1st down at the 45-yard line. Fitz again under pressure and fires complete. This is Roland Harper. Harper very close to a 1st down at the 37. Jim Youngblood providing the coverage for Los Angeles. They're going to bring the yard markers in. Crowd beginning to move out of the stadium. No, they say they can judge that it was short of the 1st down. Not by much. It couldn't be more than inches. Draw play, Walter Payton. Jack Youngblood finally gets Payton down, but he gets the 1st down inside the 35-yard line. There's not a lot of quit in this man.
None at all.
Just wonder, and I've wondered for many years, what a Walter Payton might do behind, say, an offensive line like the Los Angeles Rams. He's had 7 tough years. And within that time, he has become the 4th leading rusher in the history of the NFL. Fitz reads the blitz. Fires it up in the air. Intended out there for Brian Baschnagel. He was well covered by Kirk Collins.
He was, but it wasn't a bad effort by Phipps.
He got it fairly close. He got it fairly close.
4:34 remaining in the game.
You get this generous late in a one-sided contest,
I know.
don't you?
I know.
They have a 2nd and 10 situation. Marjoram, rookie from Stanford, who broke so many of the records of Tony Hill and James Lofton. split to the left, top of your screen. Not big, 5'11", 170-pounder. Bears got him in the 3rd round. Phipps headed for Robin Earl, and we should see a flag on that.
Nolan's got quick hands. He got him in there now.
He got him in and out
Yeah,
fast.
quick hands.
Nolan Cromwell on the coverage.
Boy, you got a good glimpse of what Nolan did.
3rd down and 10. In comes Dave Williams. We have the 3 wide receivers, DeMarcus Anderson, Brian Boschnagel, and Ken Marjoram. That's Marjoram in the slot up there. Number 89. Phipps. Could not find a receiver. Pulled it down. Tripped. Went to the carpet for a loss back to the 43-yard line. It'll be 4th down.
That one was really looked clumsy, didn't it?
Give me some color commentary on that.
All right, let's see. That's when you got your left foot where your right foot ought to be.
Hitching to get along.
You got to hitch and get along, and Jiggett should have been over there to help. That's all there was to it. Need some help
And
out
some
there.
hot breath from Jack Youngblood.
That's right.
And Mike Fanning. 4th down and too much. 18 to be exact. Youngblood this time gets to him. Youngblood has been breathing all over Bear quarterbacks all night, and Dan Jiggets, who we told you replaced an injured Dennis Lick at right tackle, he's going to need a hot tub tonight.
He really
has
has.
really been hammered.
I've been, they say you can call holding on every play, and I really do believe it. I've been watching Jiggets trying to block Jack Youngblood, and when he can't block him, he just pushes him. Now, I guess that's it. That time he couldn't get his hands on him quick enough. Jack just said, "Come on, Jiggets, I want you to go with me for a little while." And they were going to fall on Phipps.
Bears have sacked Evans once. They've sacked Avellini twice. Sacked Phipps 3 times. And here comes Cullen Bryant. Big, bruising fullback who can do everything on a football field. Gets 3 yards before he's dropped by Brad Shearer. And it's 2nd down and 7, and another Bear is injured. Hey, Cullen Bryant had his best year last year as we look at Otis Wilson, Bear linebacker, who's been filling in for an injured Jerry Muckensturm. Jerry's expected back next week.
Frank, why do you think some teams just seem to get off to better starts than others? The Rams we talked about earlier, they've gotten off to slow starts several times in the past. We know they got good football teams. Do you have any idea what they might do there? Just can't quite get it together. Some teams need a little bit more.
I think a lot of it has to do with the teams that play them. You know, the Rams are a colorful team. They've been in the playoffs for 7 straight years, and teams come in and play them. They get high. Teams really without the capability or with equal talent, you know, they get emotionally high, and the Ram team, like the Cowboys, they don't play with a great deal of emotion. They play steady football.
Well, Bud Grant, you know, they say Bud's probably, from what I've heard, one of the more relaxed coaches in preseason and the two-a-days, and particularly with the veterans. They seem to just kind of time it just right.
Well, he's got this Central Division figured out, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Bud Grant. 2nd down 7. Cullen Bryant again, left side. Rams working on the clock, which has been reduced to 3 minutes. Bryant gets to the 40-yard line. Going to be 3rd down and 4. Lee Kuntz defensively there for the Bears. But as Howard mentioned earlier, the Minnesota Viking team we saw against the Oakland Raiders is not the team that's playing now. Tommy Kramer's back. Brown, their fine running back, Mr. Everything for them, is also back. We're going to see him again a little later on.
Got a good one next week. Atlanta goes to Philadelphia. That's going to be a good
3rd and 4, and here comes Gooman. And Gooman hammering up there near a 1st down. Could be a little bit short. 2nd-year man like Matt Suey out of Penn State. Did a multitude of things for Joe Paterno while he was there. He played defense, he played wide receiver, he played tailback, return kicks, and he's in the lineup now for the Rams as we head towards the 2-minute warning. And there it is. Rams have it well in hand. They lead 24-7. The Bears' only point of pride tonight that they have at least averted a shutout. We'll be back. The weather has been absolutely perfect in Chicago for the past couple of days. Really football weather. Frost on the pumpkin a little bit. You're looking from the Goodyear Blimp America down on venerable Soldier Field here in Chicago. They've seen so many great happenings since it went into operation back in the early 1920s. Holds the collegiate record for attendance. Soldier Field back in 1927 when 127,000 watched Notre Dame defeat USC 7-6. Fourth down, the Rams will go. Guman breaks a tackle and gets the first down at the 30-yard line. He got away from a couple of Bears before Al Harris finally made the stop at the 30.
Looks like they're going to throw him for a loss.
American League scores: Kansas City 6-1, Cleveland 6-2, Baltimore 7-3, California 6-0, Milwaukee 1-0 over Boston, passing Detroit, and Texas over Seattle.
Rams with the first down. Final minute of play coming up. Rams will have evened their record at 2-2 as Cullen Bryant goes down in the arms of Mike Hartenstein.
National League, Pittsburgh in the process of splitting perhaps with Chicago. Phils kill the Mets. Atlanta winning over the Dodgers, a big loss for Cincinnati, the Giants shutting them out. Montreal losing to St. Louis, still very much alive. Houston maybe putting a death knell into Cincinnati with that victory.
Second down and 6 for the Los Angeles Rams. And off is Guman. Guman stop there at the 23-yard line. Gary Fencing coming up quickly. We'd like to thank our statistician, research man Jerry Klein, and of course our spotter for so many years, Steve Bazika.
That was Vince Evans. You got a quick glimpse of. Everybody ready to leave. The fans openly disgruntled. And perhaps getting a touch rowdy.
Final seconds ticking away. The Rams will have evened their record at 2-2. And for the Chicago Bears, they join Green Bay in the basement of the NFC Central Division at 1-3. Once again, the final score 24-7. Los Angeles over Chicago. Remember to stay tuned for ABC News Nightline 30 minutes after the game, 11:30 on the West Coast, over most of these ABC stations. Our blimp has been provided by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Travel arrangements made through and a promotional fee paid by United Airlines. United flies more people to Hawaii than any other airline. That's what Friendly Skies are all about. This has been a presentation of ABC Sports, recognized around the world as the leader in sports television.